Jesus. So loud. That's all culture.
It is. Yeah.
You can turn it down.
How do I turn it down?
Well, you would have to take it out and then put it into some type of program and then lower the volume on it and then put it back in.
Do you know me?
Did you see Loki, by the way? It sucked.
Oh, I was hoping we'd talk about it.
Yeah, sure, man. So we have to wait the entire 30 seconds.
I like doing that.
Actually, yeah, it's actually 60 seconds on this one. Yeah. I actually have a separate slider for my headphones for when I'm on Scott's show, so I can just slide it down.
Oh, that's great to know. That's great to know. Did I trick you?
With what?
I don't know.
I like this one better.
This is my favorite one. Maybe I should do like a countdown.
Or don't use a countdown.
No,
I like
use the. I spent a lot of. I spent a lot of time on that countdown. I'll make a lower volume one.
Thanks, buddy. But we are here. It is Wednesday night. This will be the only dump this week. So, oh, maybe it's not. There might be one on Saturday. But I just want to welcome everybody to the dump. It is Wednesday. How is everybody doing tonight?
I mean, I survived another episode of Loki.
Yeah,
Tina,
we're
it's horrible.
We'll talk about it.
Is Tina here? Hi,
yeah,
Tina.
Tina is. I am happy for Tina because she's enjoying it. So you could all I statements here. After last week, it's I statements. I do not like. Not it's terrible. I think it's terrible. That's how we're running this. All right. Okay. But let's first introduce everyone. The jet streamer, the traveler, Culture Casino.
Hey everybody! Thanks for joining us tonight on the Humpty Dump. This is usually that midweek where you just kind of get rid of everything. This is that midweek satisfying dump that you have. I
like that. And he was on last week, and he'll be on tonight, I guess, because he always tries to make me feel bad. Mad.
How did I try to make you feel bad?
Well,
it's me. It's Mad to the Mardigan.
I do like your bow sock hat. Okay, I'll give you that.
TLC. Yeah.
TLC?
What the flip?
Are you chasing waterfalls?
I know, right? He doesn't want any scrubs.
No, I stick to the rivers and lakes that I'm used to.
Okay. All right. That's all that I care about.
What?
They'll find you if they like you. Okay, and Tommy in the Guinea Pig Collective.
I'm kind of curious. Where the hell did you get this idiot Mads from? Did you dig him out of the sewer or something? Did you find a bum on the street that just needed a job?
You blame culture. Just blame culture.
That's true.
I feel like he's like that one guy. Like they kind of started out together, and now culture's like moving ahead. He's like, oh god, I can't let him go.
Well, culture, this is very uncultured of you.
I will ride that coattail till the end. I don't give a shit.
Appreciate that.
He's okay, as long as you don't mind hearing about how he, was on fire at one point multiple times.
Yeah. All right, Tommy. How you doing this night? You doing good? Doing great?
Yeah, we're doing okay. We're just nibbling right along.
Nibble.
I hope something interesting is going to happen. Maybe Mad Mardigan catches on fire.
What the?
We can make that work. And we have the artist of the fourth wave, Machiny90.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Wednesday Humpty Dump. I am Machiny90, artist and illustrator. We're happy to be back here on Wednesday, of course, with Scott, Culture, Tommy, and of course Mad Mardigan. And trying to push to 600. I'm like 8 subs away.
Oh Christ!
Ooh,
come on,
let's do it.
Just a little.
Let's
push.
Get a Twitter. We'll do a Twitter push. Push because everybody here has to be subscribed, and if you're not, why not?
Yeah, especially since
I make it.
Yeah. He does. I mean, Machiny is one of those creators. He gives you something fresh and amazing every single week. Mm-hmm. Just incredible artistic talent. He promotes other creators like crazy. Probably one of the best mods we have in our group of humans, and a very close friend of mine. I love the guy. So
he's a great guy, great human being. Okay. Let's say hi to the chat. Culture Casino. He is first. Jayne Theory, who may be able to make it tonight, hasn't been on it for a while, so. Hope she does.
Guys.
We miss her. Love her.
I love her.
Tina Bojan, one of our channel members also. Good evening, friends. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of The Dump.
That's right, Tina.
Keely Chow. Hey, everybody.
Not like that midweek dump, right?
Right.
Yeah,
You just, dude, if you're only going midweek and on Saturdays, try probiotics or something.
Yeah.
You know,
or eat a salad. Mix in a salad.
Yeah. Some fiber.
Oh, come on. Like, go
I can
straight to
stick
the
with
source. You got to get something a little bit better than that, man. What you got to get is what you need is a Waltons. Born in the chats. Shouted out in the high mountains and the forests and the national parks. We squat, but we do not kneel.
Good vibes. Release the McCracken. Oh, and we got Roger H with the always dealing out super stickers, which is always welcomed. And thank you so much. He's such a good dude. It's most likely the thumbs up, and I appreciate that. We got Shane Nolan, who soon will be a guest on my Monday night stream.
Ooh.
Yeah. Shane knows his shit, man.
And huge supporter of many channels, including mine.
Yes.
I see him daily for the 6 Minute Daily. He always makes comments. I appreciate you, Shane.
Yeah, and really deep into the lore of Ice and Fire. So, Godzillionator. Nice. Go ahead.
Doesn't that bum you out that you're never going to get an end to those books?
I mean, listen, I love your dedication to a book that came out 10 years ago.
Right.
To do it.
Listen, we're gonna get Elden Ring before.
Wow.
He even finishes
Wow.
the book.
E2 Makini? E2?
Well, they finally dropped the trailer, and I'm like, okay.
God damn.
Now where's the book?
George is trolling us all. We will get the book. Jane, get in here, please. Godzillionaire, biggest dump of the week. Yeah, you know what? I'll take that. Glistener, one dump per week, more fiber. Right. I'm with you on that. We have some other great people in here. Small time, awesome dude. I finally did Culture. You'd be proud of me. I finally did a members only stream Saturday before the dump. And I will be doing it more often. And small time came, like, just some good people showed up, and really I did kind of what Gary did. I threw out the link. Whoever wanted to jump on, jumped on. We just chatted for about 45 minutes. It was great.
Was it about the books that came out over a decade ago?
I really don't need him in Culture. I do not need him here. All right.
Gary was my mentor for member streams as well.
Yeah.
So you're in good company.
Same here.
Don't know him.
And that's the thing, pay it forward. Like, still been a member of Gary's for very long. And you know what? Gary started out doing member streams, editing videos. You know what,
Sporks?
I found those fun.
Sporks?
Yeah, buddy.
Soul Assassin has got a good point. You
Hell?
could have written the book and it would be done by now.
Oh, that's true.
I hate you people. Who knew? The salt must flow. Hail, you beautiful people. Where is this soul assassin you speak of? Sports could write. Yeah, okay, he did say it. All right.
But he's not wrong.
Man,
He's not.
He's not.
And you know what? It would be more to your liking.
Yeah.
If you and Stieg and a couple other choice people like Jayne, put your heads together.
Teresa.
Oh, Teresa Martin.
Yeah, she's going through the. Yeah, oh, Lady Tauriel, definitely.
Free folk.
Even Gary. Yeah. I mean.
Even Gary?
Well, even Gary would be a perfect person for it. You know,
Well, you know what? If you're going to do that, make sure you have some representation from the tree department and call up Walton.
Okay. No, he would never come. But
isn't there like
representation?
Like, doesn't that one kid turn into a tree eventually? The otherly capped one?
What is that from? Where the kid turns into a tree?
Games of Thrones. Why am I the one telling you this?
No. He gets hooked up with the trees. He's not.
Oh, sorry.
Come on, dude. I'm talking physically turns into a tree.
But there's an old man that is in a tree.
He's intertwined. So the roots are going through him. I mean, one comes out his eye socket. So yeah, he's really not alive.
You're thinking of like the Odd Life of Timothy.
No, you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of well, maybe no, I don't know.
The Oliphant he doesn't have an odd life. He's got a pretty good one. He was really good in Mandalorian before I quit watching that show. He was
he has the hips of a woman.
He was a great hitman in the Hitman movie.
Godzillionaire. I'm sorry. The kid turns into a tree. The Stephen Walton autobiography.
Truth.
My God.
Truth.
That is true. That is
Troll.
true.
Okay, I think you're right. Troll 2. Thank you, Cody Guy. Someone knew what I was talking about. Wow, you got that from what I just blathered out. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
I need a glass of wine. You ever start your afternoon in need of a glass of red wine?
Nope.
Not anymore, but I know where you're coming from.
Red wine.
So I was going to say
that was
go ahead.
terrible of me, Scott. I apologize.
Oh, dude, please. I sobriety doesn't mean like you have to be. I'm not like a fragile little twig, you know. Like,
yeah, and you're not California sober, so you're good.
Absolutely. What was I going to say to you though? What did you miss? I said. God damn it! You said you missed something and it was good. We'll get back to that, but
I miss all kinds of things.
Where were you?
I was in Florida for a week, and I had a really good time. I got to hang out. I just want to say all the amazing people I got to hang out with. Mm-hmm. I love that, man.
Name them.
Drop names.
All of them.
Well, I'm going to name 2 that all of you know. I got to hang out with Drunk 3PO and Buzzed R2.
That's awesome.
Let me ask you this: did you do the most important thing that Walton has been begging you to do? Did you get that piggyback ride?
Did I get the piggyback ride? No, but I did. I did get a hearty handshake.
Not even
close.
Nope. Not even
he's not
close.
The hugging. From what I heard, he's not the hugging type.
He's not a huggy type.
Really?
Unless your name is
Susan.
No.
Tina.
Rena.
It starts with
Gina?
Yes.
Jennifer. God, thanks, Marketing.
It's the Star Wars person that was just there with him. She's got a tiny little channel.
Oh, right.
She does art.
Not described.
Is it Jaina?
That Harry Potter girl? That Harry Potter girl.
No, it's Nana.
Ah, okay.
It's Nana.
Nana.
Somebody
called her Grana in the freaking chat today after this.
Oh, God. That's wrong. That's terrible. I got a sort of a side hug from Jay. Oh, Tina. All right. Wow. Well, you are a female. I mean,
I got a hearty handshake.
I'm going in for when I meet him. If I ever meet him, which I'm hoping maybe in October.
He clapped me on the back.
Going in for the real thing.
Yeah. Well, hey, I got a bro hug from Buzzed R2, so we're good.
Nice.
You know what, Sporking? You go in for the full hug, and all you're going to get is thigh.
Yeah, you might.
I am short. I'm 5'9". He's like 6'3", whatever. I've hugged bigger dudes before.
He's a tree. That's why he doesn't want to be anywhere close next to Steven.
Oh, and Steven wants to be closer to him. That's messed up. That is messed up.
I'm just saying.
Oh, Jayne got a hug.
Jayne, you're a very attractive female, so come on.
Yep, that is true. Now, did you get to meet like people like Jayne and other people, or did the trips not line up?
No, actually, interestingly enough,
Jayne, come on, please, come on.
I just missed Lorena. Just missed her.
Oh man.
Yeah, I had other things to take care of on the very last day I was there.
And she was coming down, right? She drove down.
Yeah. So I just missed her, but we'll hook up. I mean, I'm down there often enough doing other stuff that it'll happen.
That's awesome.
I did find several pieces of land.
Oh, nice.
Pieces of land to purchase. I'm going to settle. I think I found 5 acres where I want to put the house.
Nice.
So I think, and I mean, it was just, and then of course I hung out with some other people that I know that work in entertainment.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. Keep those
and
connections.
Yeah, I just had a good time. The worst part was the air travel.
Right.
Because it took me forever to get home yesterday.
Oh yeah, did you get in any trouble? I hear it's kind of crazy right now on airplanes.
Was not a good time.
Right.
Yeah.
I tell you what, after my past experiences with taking air flights, when I have to go back up to Jersey to finalize everything, I am really considering taking a train. I'm willing to wait an extra 20 plus hours just to not have to put up with people.
I gotta say, trains are fun sometimes.
I've never been on one.
I used to have to we take the train in, like where I grew up, we used to take the train into New York City all the time. But I also took it from where I lived to Pittsburgh when I was in college, and you meet some just interesting people.
Where'd you go to college? I didn't even know you went to college.
I lived on campus. Yeah,
you hide it well.
Yeah, Duquesne. Thank you. I really worked at that. Duquesne University. Yeah, I went to Duquesne. They won't admit it, but I did go. You
know, they spell that really weird, by the way.
Duquesne. Yes.
Yeah.
Duquesne. Yes. I literally did go there.
If you would have put that, if you wouldn't have told him that, and you just held that up in front of Mad Mardigan, you have no idea what it would have come out of his.
I would have nailed it.
So I'm kind of curious. They never caught you sleeping in the maintenance room. They didn't throw you out.
Who, me? No.
Yeah, you.
You know, I lived on campus. I mean, I paid $40,000 a year to go there. So, I mean, they let me stay on campus. They didn't want to kick me out. I just didn't go to class.
Now, have you put your gender studies
basket weaving, actually? Yeah. I think I got an A in philosophy because I tried that old wives, that old thing where the professors say why and you just look at them and say why not. And like back then there wasn't the internet, so it wasn't that widely known. So I tried it. It helped. I passed. And we got Riff Mangos. I spelled your name wrong. And did we add him? We got to add him because he's a channel member. Hail Sporking. Keep doing what you do.
I feel like I added Riff. Riff is also a channel member for me.
Yeah,
Riff really is a supporter of so many.
And dude, Riff is awesome too, man.
And multiple channels.
He should be coming on more channels. Like Riff actually we were doing our Saturday thing. He came on the members only, and he goes from his Australian accent to his Scottish accent. You are fucking legend. Awesome dude. Awesome dude.
Yeah,
but don't call him Australian. Do not call him Australian.
Oh, okay, I won't. But here's the weird thing. Well, he's paying with Australian money.
Right. Don't call him that. Nope.
Okay.
What is he?
He's Greek.
Oh, is he?
From the Highlands of Greece.
Oh, the Highlands of Greece.
Yes, he is Greek.
Marby Dog.
Yeah, Marby Dog rocks. Bachelor degree in Sporking. You know what, dog? I got a master's in that. What?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Don't try it anymore?
What does that even mean?
I don't either. I don't know, but I went with it. Who's the weird dude in the class who calls himself Sporks? Back then, I was Scotito.
Did you make that up yourself?
No, I didn't actually. Somebody's mom from Puerto Rican mom used to call me that. Scotito.
Well, hello, Scotito.
Yes. Scotito, you come here. You come here right now. So I wanted to talk about a couple things, but I'm waiting for. Okay, so I'm waiting for Jayne because she sent this cartoon, and I want her to talk about this one. I kind of want to talk about Roger Waters right now. Does anybody know about the Roger Waters and Mark Zuckerberg thing going on right now?
I have no idea. I'm just hearing about this now. I don't know who Roger Waters is.
Yeah, I only know the other guy.
He's a musician.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
Is he in a band?
Oh my God.
Did that just happen? Did that really?
I think that did just happen.
What, McCabe doesn't know who he is either?
Yeah, but McCabe's black.
Oh, I'm black adjacent.
Oh, okay.
Did
all right,
that
you're
just
good.
happen?
That just happened, McCabe.
That just happened. I'm black as black.
If I'm going to offend anybody, it's someone who's really nice to me. You know.
I'm still saying like a good fireball in Mad Mardigan's direction would not be a bad idea at this point.
I got to find this video. I'm going to play a video actually, if I can find it. I just remembered it got texted to me. But the guys, okay, so it's a Spanish Twitter, La Jornada, I'm going to type that in right now. La Jornada. Say it with me, class.
Wait, is this for? Am I supposed to be paying attention to this?
There you go. Very good job.
La Jornada.
Okay. La Jornada.
Donata.
We be at E2. All right.
Hungry.
Well, don't leave me yet. Okay, I know I suck at this.
No, it's fine. I'm not going anywhere. I just found out that I was hungry.
Well, you know you could eat. You know. Yeah. I don't mind.
Potato chips culture. Potato chips.
And Roger Waters.
Oh, Pink Floyd.
What's the issue?
I'm gonna just play it. I'm just gonna play it. Because I think
is it coming from him? Is it like kind of coming from him, or is it
it's Roger Waters? Yep, he is at a. Wow, did they already scrub this? Nope. Here we go. Please tell me you didn't scrub it yet. All right, good. Wow, they did. That sucks.
I mean, you saved it, right?
How can I save it?
You didn't screenshot it?
Yeah,
no,
you didn't download it?
Did you?
How do you download things?
Easy.
What are you guys even talking about?
You can actually
PC,
there's an app that you can get that allows you to download all the Twitter videos.
What?
Yeah.
Or you can conversely just convert a Twitter feed, go to a site where you can convert Twitter videos to.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Just type in a couple letters
Twitter
on
video
YouTube.
downloader.
I just need a class. That's really what I need, I think.
Scott, you already had one of them. Remember, you didn't show up.
Right?
Well,
we just had that.
Not just one. Not just one. There was quite a few.
Maybe if you weren't a smart ass, you would have learned about computers.
Well, I mean, computers,
why not?
They're awesome. So, whatever. You know what I'll do? I'm smart. What time was this at?
What time is it now? Or
how about it? I tweet it out right now. Oh, I'm a genius, people. I am a genius.
Oh, he saved it.
I'm going to retweet it, and retweet it, because I just found it. Here it is. Oh, that would have been better, dude.
What do you need me to do?
Nothing. I'm on top of it right now.
He's got it.
I am all over this.
He's in his zone. Don't.
This is just world-class entertainment right here, Sporking. You were just hitting all the high notes.
It's called, it's supposed to be like a loose form type of thing, and you guys should really be jumping in. And, okay, Spork doesn't have it right now. Why don't we just start BSing about something? But you just all sit there staring.
Like, we're BSing about you not being able to find it.
Oh, okay, then we're doing okay. We're doing okay.
I think we're doing fine, yeah.
All right. I was just making sure. Shit. All right, here we go. Ah, crap, I forgot to do audio. God.
Audio on Boomer.
Man, I screwed it all up again, and then I X'd out of the Twitter. Yeah, I said
you don't have
Twitter.
to tell us all of the mistakes you're making.
Well, I got to do a play-by-play. You guys aren't doing enough.
Okay.
You haven't stopped talking for us to say anything.
Well, I do have that problem.
The thing is, it's like if this is on my stream, I'd be playing OK Boomer Girl clip right now.
You know what? I think it's pretty telling when even culture is left speechless over this guy.
I'm not talking.
Is the audio on?
Shut up.
This is something that I actually put in my folder when I came out here today. You have no idea what it is. Nobody does, because it arrived on the internet.
I'm just going to pause here and there because I'm scared, for them to steal my money. But really, Roger Waters, the guy's a genius. He was a little mad, I would say, back in the day. They parted ways with him and Gilmore artistically, but you have to say the guy is a legend. And he pulls right here. He pulls a legendary move. What's up, Jayne?
Hey, hello.
Hello, Jayne.
Have you seen this? Have you heard anything about Roger Waters?
No, actually, I have not.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Do you know who he is?
No idea.
Okay, he's the lead singer of Pink Floyd.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, was one of their lead singers.
Right, he was the co-founder.
Right, no. Yeah, I guess he was, but he wasn't the original singer. That was Syd Barrett. But when they did The Wall and Animal, like all their bigger stuff, he was the writer.
Yeah, the three songs the only three songs anyone knows.
No, I know a lot because
you do.
I'm old.
Comfortably Numb was him.
Yes,
that was
yes, all him. But here we go. So this is him at some conference, and he's talking about something he received.
To me this morning, it's a request for the rights to use my song, Another Brick in the Wall 2, in the making of a film to promote Instagram. So it's a missive. It's a missive from Mark Zuckerberg to me, right? Arrived this morning with an offer of a huge amount of money, and the answer is fuck you. No fucking way. And
okay, so that's rock and roll, man. That is rock and roll.
That's punk rock. That's anti-establishment, and that's what we're missing right now. The musicians now are, cuckold to the industry. He is like, nah, fuck you guys.
They're not just cuckold. Most of them are soulless at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or lack integrity.
No. Well, he goes on, and it's hilarious because they want to use another brick in the wall for a Zuckerberg company, Instagram. Like, think about we'll talk about what another brick in the wall is, but like, it just, let him speak for me. It's just amazing.
I only mention that because this is an insidious, it's the insidious movement of them to take over absolutely everything, you know. So those of us who do have any power, and I do have a little bit, in terms of the control of the publishing of my songs, I do anyway. So I will not be a party to this bullshit, Zuckerberg. We want to thank you for considering this project. We feel that the core sentiment of this song is still so prevalent and necessary today.
They don't even understand it.
They don't.
They don't. It's true. And yet, they want to sojourn it. They want to use it to make Facebook and Instagram even bigger and more powerful than it already is, so that it can continue to censor all of us in this room and prevent this story about Julian Assange getting out to the general public, so the general public could go, what? No more, nada más. Zuckerberg features in my new rock and roll show. I've got him no, I shouldn't tell you.
I love this part.
But he does. But you think, how did this little prick, who started off by saying, she's pretty, we'll give her a 4 out of 5. She's ugly, we'll give her a 1. How the did he get any power in anything? Absolutely. And yet here he is.
But I mean,
powerful idiot.
To be fair, he was in college at the time they did that.
Yeah.
Oh, and I get that, you know, but he's just making a point. Like, he's making the point that this guy now wants to he feels that if he throws enough money at anybody, he could buy anybody, you know, and
that's how corporations work.
And I get that. I completely agree with you on that. What I don't agree on is using another brick in the wall for a corporation like that, where another brick in the wall is talking about the establishment and groups that censor and pretty much fascism and Nazism. Like, that's what that song is all about. I mean, Culture, you're a lot older than most of us.
Yes.
I mean, do you agree?
Look, I mean, the words behind it, the song is essentially saying, we don't need your manipulations that are coming at us constantly. We are human. We desire freedom. You know,
do we though?
We desire convenience. If we're going to tell the truth, with the majority.
Some people are willing to concede freedom for convenience. That's true, but I'm not one of those people.
It's happened again and again through history. Yeah, there most definitely is a certain amount of people that are just ready to concede anything just so they can feel more comfortable.
And that's what they're selling to.
Yeah, but the majority of people, whether they realize it or not, even those ones that are ready to concede at first, they're not really understanding what they're giving up. That's really the problem.
But maybe they are. I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe it's a generational thing, but I'm also looking, and my issue with what Zuckerberg does has more so to do with its susceptibility to government influence than the corporate influence, because that's, you know, I mean, it's supply and demand. But the problem I have is when government starts to take over. So you can build this monumental corporation that's highly influential, and you're serving all these people and you're making money, but then it provides a platform. It makes you and your customers vulnerable to government intervention.
I get that, but he also, I would back him up completely if he and people like Jack Dorsey, more Jack Dorsey than Zuckerberg, but they controlled a narrative on a platform that should be open and free for people to speak on. And they were able to, I truly believe, turn the course of American history in this last couple of years by getting one president out and another president in, because people are gullible.
But that was the criticism that people had on the left, that he was letting too many people on the right, or AKA Russians, say whatever they wanted to say on the platform. I mean, you had him getting attacked by both political sides, which is the problem.
Right.
When government starts getting involved.
Well, but and again, you're not wrong there, but at the same time, this comes down to, are you operating under with essentially the permission of the government in what you're doing or not. It's the same arguments that we could have around antitrust and how, you have, the baseball and football exceptions and all the other things that go along with that. But right now, the argument could be made that the corporations are essentially governing bodies in and of themselves, which is a real problem. I mean, you're looking at, technocracy right now and not necessarily any form of representative republic, which is what we're supposed to be. But it just, I mean, I could be wrong, Jayne, but my thoughts on it are that these corporations are essentially instilling laws or bending the law, to suit their needs. And again, I mean, if you only have if your only access to other humans is through various forms of technology, don't you think that Clarence Thomas is right and they should be governed along the lines of utilities in that case? And not,
I was just about to ask that question, because at some point telephones became a utility. Well, I guess in a way, no, but electricity did, where they wanted to actually have generators in, areas of town and even smaller generators in people's yards. That was like Alexander Graham Bell's idea, and it was Tesla who was like, no, we'll make bigger power plants and just give it away. And people like Graham and JP Morgan, they just weren't going to have it. So the government stepped in and made sure that it was affordable for everyone after a couple decades. Well, now it's been over a decade since, the internet has boomed and social media has gotten bigger and bigger. This is the way that some people in the world are only able to communicate with other people in the world. Is that a right? Is that a utility? Should they be getting the tax breaks they get if they're able to decide who's allowed to be on their platform and who's not? I mean, look at Twitter. They took a sitting president off but kept the Ayatollah on. Tell me where that works out.
I think the problem is that I still have a bigger issue with government being able to regulate this type of platform. I do see the concern you're talking about as far as them censoring language and speech, but at the same time, it is a platform that we choose to use, and we agree to their terms and conditions when we do that.
Right.
So it's like it's a contract of sorts between us, between the user and the company. It does.
The TOS can change sometimes on an hourly basis, and it has for some of these corporations.
And one more thing too, though, just one quick point.
Yeah.
When it comes to the benefits they were able to get out of government, all of that hinged on this argument that they would be responsible for what individuals say. My argument has always been that they wouldn't, that was a ruse in order to get this protection in the first place, that they never needed the protection. And to me, I feel like the government gave it to them because at some point they wanted to have their fingers or their claws in this industry so that they could use it to their own advantage and their own benefit. I
gotta say goodnight to my little one. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Mads, jump in when you got a second, though.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, so like I don't know how much control the government actually has over these corporations, Facebook, Google, Twitter. I mean, it feels like it's actually the opposite. Look at what they did to Trump. Like they have this power to really just shut down all discourse, and just if they don't agree with a politician, they very easily could shut them down completely.
But they also, when they had it open, they got attacked for allowing people to be critical of Clinton.
Right.
So, it's like they can't win. I say let them run their platform however they choose to run it. And if the government doesn't like it, so be it. If people don't like it, so be it. That's just me.
The only problem I had is when they did all these corporations for doing the online media presence, whether it was Twitter or Facebook or even MySpace, when you go back far enough, they all agreed to a certain set of, I guess, ideals that they were going to keep these as open platforms that anybody was going, anybody was basically going to be able to say whatever they wanted. That there was going to be a certain amount of freedom of speech. Now, I realize there comes an extent to that where it's crossing boundaries and it's crossing borders when you're actually threatening people. And, I totally understand that, because you can't get away with that on a regular phone. But if you're talking to somebody on the phone, you could pretty much say anything you want to. And that's considered part of like a freedom of speech when you're using a phone. And that's what these original platforms were intended to be. And then they turned around and they changed the rules as they went along, just because of a narrative or because they just saw fit to do it. I mean,
right, but
shouldn't there be some kind of answer to what was originally drawn up between the agreement between them and the government, where they shouldn't do all this censoring that they're doing?
I don't think so.
Well, there's a
line relationship with government, period.
Well, there's a line too that, I mean, as a private company, they have rights that we really don't want to mess. You know what I mean? Like they should be allowed to determine who they want on the platform or who they don't want on the platform. The problem comes in when they're the only game in town, when it becomes a monopoly like it has. And every time someone tries to challenge their place on top of the hill, they get destroyed.
Well, I mean, you actually start to see it filtering into other aspects too. I mean, you're starting to see that filter into mainstream media when they find that there's another narrative that the bulk of the mainstream media, what their narrative is. When there's another corporation that doesn't agree with them, they look to silence them. They look to have them deplatformed. They look to have them expunged from the public. I mean, this is the kind of nonsense that has actually started with social media sites when they're actually policing people.
And that goes back to cancel culture, but that's still the mob using these platforms to espouse a particular view. That's not to say that you can't have other people responding to that and having their own voices heard in their own way, or if necessary, going off and creating their own separate independent platforms. But of course, that needs to have a foundation as well, is what we saw when people did start to move and the platforms they were moving to were being pulled. So you have to have independent and competitive infrastructure. And that's something that all voices and different perspectives need to be working on so that these companies don't have complete and total dominance. But at the same time, I just don't think the government should be a part of it. I think that people should be driving that.
I agree. Well,
there is a place.
No, go ahead.
Oh, but there is a place for government. If you look at like the oil boom, especially in East Texas, where I grew up, they had to come in because of the wildcatters. There were so many people trying to get oil that there wasn't the barrel itself was worth more than what was in it, than the oil. And that's when you get the whole, there will be blood with the milkshake. Oh, I drink your own milkshake. Like that was very important because it maintained the value of the oil, because without those regulations, like it wasn't worth anything.
Yeah.
Well, there's a certain amount of regulation that has to be on industry. I mean, we have governmental bodies to do that for everything from the meat that you consume to the electricity that you purchase, and those can be governed at a local level or at a national level. It all depends. I mean, the 10th Amendment allows for a lot of that.
I can see those things as different. I see natural resources, electricity, things like that as being different from, I built this platform and I'm allowing people to speak on it if they choose to. I just see that as a different category of thing.
Let me just say one thing though to that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Culture. No, because you're always smarter. No, because I agree with a lot of what Jayne's saying. In my heart, capitalism, it's yours. You built it. It should be yours. But then you need to be considered a not an open platform. You are a publisher. When you decide that you could take somebody off, and it's not just an actor or some activist or you're taking a sitting president off during an election time where people up to the minute news is Twitter. It's not like he could go on CBS News at night. That's like feels like 100 years from what just happened on Twitter. 13 different things happen. You know what I mean? Like, I just think they have a lot of power. If you're going to be considered a platform that's a publisher, then you get taxed like one, and you fall under those regulations where you decide that if you're going to publish, then whatever people say on there is your liability too.
I think but that goes against everything we believe in fundamentally. I shouldn't be held responsible for what someone else says.
Well, I don't either, but you're publishing. If you're publishing, you should.
No, you shouldn't, because you're not actually putting that out there.
Okay, so then you agree with me. Let everybody just speak, unless they're trying to harm people.
I think you can do what you want with your platform.
Yeah.
I like Lamp.
I like Lamp too. I'd like to talk about this another time, Jayne, because you always open my eyes to certain things, but this one I just feel a certain way about.
What I guess is coming to mind to me is when we saw, like, during the Egyptian and the Arab Spring, government started shutting down internet, though.
Yeah.
They started silencing the platforms that existed in those countries.
Right.
And I just could see, it's a slippery slope.
Right. I mean, what they do to try to get right.
Government.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you're right.
You're not wrong, Jayne. It's the problem, but the problem is that my private rights are still overstepped all the time. When it comes to housing or any of these other things, you're governed by certain numbers of laws that are required. Even though I built something and I intend to sell it, I can be held accountable. Or if I build a bunch of apartments, I'm being governed 3 ways to Sunday. When I choose to just build them, I fall under a whole lot of building codes and structural things like that. And again, that's health and safety, like you were speaking to. But then I'm governed by who I want to rent, to. Right? You can't. There's a certain bunch of laws that go along with that. You're always accountable to some form of governance or regulation. I mean, in as much as I would like to keep the internet 1,000% free of government, intervention, that unfortunately has never been its case.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm not saying that isn't reality. I'm just saying that we should question it.
Oh, of course. Question government every chance you get.
But there is good in that, though, as well. Like, these regulations prevent culture's, shitty apartments from collapsing on everyone that lives in there.
Yeah.
Because there was regulations on how it was built.
Yep.
Well, it's not even just that. I mean, it filters down to everything, even stuff that you buy. If you buy a car that winds up exploding on you, there are government agencies out there like the Consumer Affairs and stuff like that you can go to help, deal with that problem and be able to get confirmation.
Yeah, nice way to finish a sentence.
Deniability. You bought the car and you assumed all responsibilities when you bought it. And that's where some of these laws are actually put in place to be able to protect the consumer.
Right. Well, let me just real quick. I got to get to these because I don't get a lot of them, so I got to give them props.
You probably should, yeah.
Darius, thank you. How do you pronounce your last Munchausen? For 149, it is a popcorn because he's ready to rock, and he also says what I like to see is I'm glad the first thing I heard on my way in was F you Zuckerberg. We also have Kaylee D. She is a big supporter of everybody in the fandom. Thank you for being here. Monster Huntress Rune. Well, at least Doug Walker kind of got the message behind the wall. We also have $2 Eric Winberg. Thank you very much. Hail Sporking, panel, and chat. Thank you so much. We'll probably table this one. I think it's a great conversation. And Jayne, you bring up some really valid points that I hate, because I want everything to be open. I want things to be, live and let live to a certain point. I want to make sure kids are protected and people aren't threatened. But I also, you can't tell me that, mostly with Jack Dorsey and Twitter, he had an agenda on who he silenced, who he would suspend or literally just take off, while people on the other side were able to say some pretty messed up stuff about conservatives and Christians and keep on going on.
Are we still talking about Roger Waters?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah,
I think if we had an alternative,
yes, we are.
To Twitter, people wouldn't have as big of an issue with it. That's the problem. That's what's missing.
Because I don't even think Roger liked Trump. I think he was very critical of him.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean,
Yep. I think it speaks to his character that he doesn't have like complete TDS.
Yeah, well,
but I always loved
about
Pink
Zuckerberg.
Floyd. Pink Floyd are like fucking amazing.
Oh,
yeah,
they are.
Fuck Zuckerberg.
I don't know. Maybe
fuck him in his stupid face because he looks like that actor, and I hate him too because of it.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. If you're listening.
Yeah. God, you're
Mad doesn't want to die.
Mad, yeah, right. Nah. You know what else we should talk about?
I don't think we should.
Victoria Alonso.
Oh.
I don't know if we will talk about her or we could talk about the WandaVision. All right, so we got one saying representation's all about money, which finally somebody admits it.
Finally, they admit it.
I think we should actually do that one because when I saw it, I thought of you, Jayne. I was like, wow, someone's actually being honest. We talked about this how many times? Yeah. So EVP of Marvel Studios, Victoria Alonso, claims you are leaving money on the table by not representing.
That is just wrong.
Where's this table and where can I get the money?
You're leaving money on the table by not creating great characters, first of all, and not investing in the characters you do have and giving them good writers and producers and directors. I will never stop talking about how unprepared they were for the success of Black Panther.
Right.
They're the ones who have the problem. They're the ones who don't have faith in these characters. And they want to pivot and project and blame that on the audience.
Right.
No, no one has a problem with representation. We just want to see really good characters.
Yes.
How hard is that? They're not connecting the dots for some reason.
Culture and we talked about this a lot too. Like I think that in some cases they do this as a shield to protect them from the Twitter mob. If you look at these corporations that are like, okay, we'll put it's June, so let's slap a rainbow on our Skittles. No way, we already had them. Let's just make it all white. That'll work. Anyway, but they just do these things because if they don't, they'll be called out, and then they have to deal with the backlash of not showing their support by.
No, here's the thing is like, as a corporation, your automatic comeback to that is we celebrate this every single day. We don't need a special month. We don't need any of that. We've always treated everybody, in a very, very positive way. So,
right. I mean, look at the. Oh, go ahead. You haven't spoken in a while, Makini.
Yeah, I wanted to disagree with what Jayne was saying. Is that I don't think it's that they don't know how to connect the dots. I think they know how to connect the dots. They're just refusing to.
Well, now can I ask you a question? Is it refusing because they're the ones that have the problem, or are they refusing because they have little faith in the they're so out of reality that they don't realize we don't care?
Honestly, I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah.
And I think it comes down to the fact that with a lot of corporations, a lot of the big companies, a lot of the just mainstream stuff out there, it comes down to refusing to admit that what they're doing, that they're brigading, what they're trying to push isn't working. They don't want to admit that.
Right.
And I think what it comes down to is that kind of ego, that kind of, when you break it all down, really.
Well, I've been thinking about this a lot. And I just keep asking myself, if women are always right, then who wins in an argument between lesbians?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody
the
listening
one?
to it.
The
Everybody
lipstick?
listening to the argument.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, that's all I got. I'm sorry.
No, that's a funny joke, and I like it. Obviously, you can't be funny anymore, Tom. So you might get canceled now.
I've been to Wakanda like 4 times.
Well, that's my question.
I'm
Remember,
very, very
an honorary citizen.
Woke.
Right. Well, it was funny because all these executives always thought you can never. Directors say that they told us we can never have a all black cast. We can never have this and that. And the narrative now switched that the audience never was going to accept it. Like all of a sudden you did it and we were like, oh my God, it's all black people and I like it.
Need I remind people that the white boy in Black Panther got more screen time than Louis did in Coming to America?
Damn.
I'm sorry.
No, please go ahead, Makini.
No, I was going to say, to on that, Victoria Alonso is like, she's making like these, I guess you could say, these data figures to stake her claim, and I think they're off. I think she's completely off, though.
I think that
or she's missing the point, or just kind of
She's speaking from her head, I think.
Yeah, I'm with you.
She is speaking totally from her head.
Yeah.
Here, let me read some of her quotes and we'll see what we got. All right, so Deadline reports she claimed diversity, inclusion, and gender all go hand in hand with showing the world as it is. There's about 6,000 characters in the Marvel library that we'll have access to. So if this goes right, we will be telling these stories for many generations to come. And the importance of laying the groundwork for what's to come is that in those stories, there's many different characters that you can actually voice. Aren't you tired of every time your movie comes, it's number one in the world? Okay, so that's claiming people asking her that. And she said, the reason we have the success constantly is because our audience is global. You cannot have a global audience and not somehow start to represent it. For us, it was really, really, really important to have that.
But you have characters that are like, it's all just such a fake.
It
virtue
is
signal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me.
Real quick, Makini after Jayne. Jayne.
No,
go on with that.
No, I was just like, you have an entire catalog of incredibly diverse characters.
Right.
This isn't a new. They're talking as if
we don't know.
They're starting something new suddenly now. Like they're responding to today's outrage. When
Jayne,
all you need to do,
they're breaking the glass ceiling.
Yeah, they're breaking the glass ceiling. We never had strong female characters before now. We're responding to the public.
Man, good old days.
It's revisionist history, Jayne. You know
it
that.
It is.
Tom and I talk about it at least twice a week whenever we get a chance to hang out, and it's infuriating because you actually participated, Jayne, in some of the movie things on when we were doing the 70s movies and the 80s movies with Christy, where we were talking about this, and it's like, oh wow, there never was a strong female character except this one, and we were able to do that, like the top 10 movies every single year going all the way back into the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and you're saying, okay, well, here's a strong female character, this, and so it's like, but these never existed. And then you have to go back in time and go, Lucille Ball ran flipping Hollywood
right
for a decade. You had all of this amazing female power.
Yes.
It's always been a big pile of bullshit. Go ahead, Tom.
Ripley killed the alien. Mr. Belvedere was gay. We've already been here, folks.
Yep. I always wondered about Mr. Drummond also.
But here right here they say, then they always told us that Black Panther was never going to open and nobody wanted. But here's the thing. Y'all were the ones who weren't ready.
Absolutely.
When the film dropped and people were demanding merchandise.
Right.
Y'all weren't ready.
Right.
Y'all did not. There was actually an article, and I should have done an entire video on it because it was ridiculous.
Just like
they
Baby
admitted
Yoda.
they weren't ready.
Right.
Well, were they not ready, Jayne, or did they? Did not expect it?
They did not think fans would support the film.
Did they not expect it to do well, or did they not care if it did well?
No,
I don't think they expected it to do well.
I don't think so either, but I think they've convinced themselves, like, oh, well, there's no way this is going to be successful because the country is overran by the white supremacists.
Right.
Like, and then when it comes out, they're like,
and then when they come out, there's so many. The white people were the main ones in the theater.
They loved it.
Not the one I went to.
Let's get Makini involved. Oh, go ahead. Culture, then Makini.
It doesn't play, and this is the thing, and Tom and I talked about this as well. Do you realize that the second largest audience in the United States to Hispanic audience now?
Yep.
They go to the films that everybody's in. It doesn't matter. White people don't care about this. The Hispanic population doesn't care about this. I'm not going to speak for the black population, but clearly based on attendance, they don't care about that. You know what? No, you can't. But it's just, but based on MPAA's own data, none of this shit friggin' matters. And this bunch of crap. You know what flies in the face of this Alonso bullshit that is talked about in this article today is the bullshit opening that In the Heights had. Because
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, because I did a video on it today, and I'm like, this is an example of we're going to advertise this as a super woke project, as a super woke musical film by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and then everybody in the woke comes out of the woke woodwork and kicks him in the teeth, and Rita Moreno, and everything else.
I can't believe.
Where's all the black people in your Hispanic film? Tell me,
they're in
please.
The back. They're in the back. Actually,
he is such a racist.
They're in the back row.
Fair, this was focused on a Dominican community.
Yes.
So there's no issue of black or Latino. There's the same thing.
Right. They're just darker and lighter skin.
Different colors.
Yeah, but I heard the question. I'm sorry. That was a stupid fucking question.
Yeah. But Makani, please jump in. I know you're chomping at the bit.
Can you go back to the earlier paragraph that you read? Can you reread that again?
Where she was speaking?
Yeah, where she was like 6,000.
Yeah. So right here. All go, blah, blah, all go. There's about 6,000 characters in the Marvel library that we have access to. So if this goes right, we will be telling these stories for many, 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 many generations to come.
Okay, 2 points of thought. One, the thing is that what made phase one successful was that you portrayed, it wasn't because like the characters were like, right, no, you portrayed the characters as larger than life. The characters are meant to be in the comics as larger than life characters. The main 6 Avengers are larger than life. That's what got us into the theater. Staying true to that comic book staying true to their comic book counterparts, and staying true to the mythology they were created in the comics.
Right, and if they truly believed in representation, there would have been a black character in the original 6, or there would have been a somebody who is gay. I don't know, but this is all the wind. Whatever the wind tells them to do,
it is all the wind because she mentioned 6,000 heroes in the Marvel library. I challenge her to name 30 of them that have not been in a single MCU-related property.
That's a good
question. Name 30 of them.
Well, Makani, you were saying that they really need to pay attention to the lore and the characters and the mythos behind it.
Yeah, but
they can actually. Yeah, but I mean, they came close in that first wave. They came close. Now, why they didn't hit it all exactly, they actually took a lot of liberties with some of the other storylines and characters, especially the Guardians of the Galaxy, because Guardians of the Galaxy are nothing at all like they were in the original comic books.
Right.
And nobody had a problem with that, the way they did it. And they included, their diversity or whatever they wanted to say. They included everything in there, and there was no problem with it because they didn't beat you over the head with the nonsense and actually go so far to destroy everything that you couldn't enjoy it at all. I think that was the difference.
And here's my rebuttal to that, Tommy. If they cared so much about continuity, if they cared so much about story, then why are we seeing a bunch of race swaps then?
Right. Well,
that's equity.
Because it's cheap. Because it's cheap.
That's equity.
There you go.
It's about equity.
And on top of
they're lazy.
They're so lazy.
You know what's better than equity? Ice cream.
I love ice cream.
Chocolate ice cream.
You can give the floor rather than just saying race swap just because of representation, just because we need to see ourselves in that. By the way, it's absolutely idiotic and stupid. You need help if you have to see yourself in this. I'm saying it. Yeah, that's my hot take.
I'm with you, brother.
But
Culture.
However,
go ahead. No, finish the however.
Please, go ahead, man.
It goes to the old saying in that you don't know your Marvel history to know that there have been tons and tons of B, C, and even D-list characters that you can build off of and prop them up. Here's the thing with Guardians of the Galaxy. That formula worked because you had the eye of James Gunn. You had if it's under a good writer and director and it's under a good team, you can take a bunch of C or D-list characters and make them more popular, make him prop up. But here's the thing, and that worked with Iron Man. Iron Man, Tony Stark, is technically a B-list hero under Marvel. In the first film, propped him up straight to A-list, and he did it with the rest of the Avengers cast. Now, hang on, let me finish culture. this attempt that it worked in Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's not going to work with the Eternals, and it's damn sure not going to work with Shang-Chi. You can't make every freaking hero an A-list.
No,
you can't.
No, you can't. You can't.
Dang you.
Not only that, she's wrong about how many characters there are in the Marvel universe, and this is the problem that I have with these people. They come out, they make these definitive statements that aren't anywhere close to accurate. We never had any source material. Thank you, Kathleen Kennedy.
Hold on. She doesn't say that's how many are in Marvel. That's how many they have access to.
Right. I got to read a couple super chats before they disappear, guys. So
wrong.
That Islington girl who has become a regular, and I love it. Canadian 149 super sticker, and it is what I usually send people, a hot dog. So thank you so much. And we also got Marby Dog, one of my biggest supporters. Zoomers will gladly trade freedom for convenience. This is incredibly dangerous. Prison is incredibly convenient. They bring your food and mail right to the cell. Yeah,
why you gotta go after Zoomers? Zoomers are creative.
Well,
I gotta say, Zoomers are better than millennials.
I think God AOC wants to get rid of the jail, so we don't have to worry about that.
Well, considering most of the people in jail are there for dumb reasons.
Fuck everybody younger than me. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'm down with that too. Nikki D for $5. Thank you so much, Nikki D. Victoria Alonso comes across as a clueless suit, but in reality, the MCU will be fine. Too many normies blindly consuming without being critical. And this is a valid point. I do, man.
You think so?
Until the super. Well. Let me just say this real quick, and then you guys go at it. Oh no, I love this. This is awesome. Until the superhero shine, which has taken a little bit of a blemish to it, but till that fades, normies will go see whatever that trailer makes look amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, they did not do that with Eternals whatsoever.
Did they do that? Did they do that with Shang-Chi? No.
I don't know what Shang-Chi, but I'll tell you this: Good
guy.
What I see is that they see it coming. They see this fall coming, right? Because in game that was the end for a lot of people. So now I think, and this is my opinion, I think that part of this diversity inclusion is kind of a shield. You're building in those reasons why it's going to fail already, right? Why is it going to fail? Well, you had the whole, COVID thing going on, right? Why is it going to fail? Well, the white people, they hated diversity, so they didn't want to go see it. If you already have that built into it, it's going to help that fall that is coming.
Yeah, I think it reveals. Oh, go ahead. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I think it reveals more so Hollywood's racism that they've just always had. It's not. This isn't. I don't think it's that when they do this sort of virtue signaling stuff. I don't think it's because they're afraid that that they're going to be mobbed. I don't think they really care. I think they throw it out there because they think they'll get some sort of financial benefit from it. Oh, people want to see Black people on screen. Okay, well, who can we swap out? Is there a character we can switch? Is there a character nobody cares about? We can turn that one black.
But it's failed.
They don't care.
Time and time again.
Not when it's a redhead.
If their point is to make money, but they keep failing every time they force in diversity and inclusion, why do they keep doing it? And it's not about money.
And the thing is, Mardigan makes a point, and there's 2 points I want to bring up. When you use diversity and inclusion as your selling point, you are purposefully dwindling and you're putting any potential of the character you have. That's not going to last. You're going to ruin the potential of any character you go if you go with this angle. If that's all you have for the characters, that's all your selling point is, and nothing else, then you're dwindling the potential of that character, period. And from what I see is that a lot of the characters that they want to push in, that they want to change and race swap as such, they're not going to last that long.
No.
They're not going to have that long staying power. But and the thing is... Sorry, and to kind of add on what Jayne was saying, it comes down to it's not that we don't think that other non-white characters have that potential. It's you don't think that.
Yeah, right there.
That's why you're making these changes, because you put white characters, classically white characters, to a higher standard.
And let me ask you, let me ask you guys this question. Let me ask you, China too. But let me ask you two. They hate black people. I heard YouTube. I didn't say that. I didn't think that.
Scott is not a doctor.
I am not a doctor. That is true. What I want to ask is this. Because they don't get it and they don't understand what they're doing and they're just race swapping because we're falling behind. Wait a minute. Let me just finish my question for you guys. Is it they're swapping out? They're like, okay, if we're going to race swap, let's get like the best character and race swap him.
Yes, that's equity.
Because they're not even thinking. Well, it's not even like, because I always was like, oh, they're going equity on that name. And it has something to do with that too, but I almost think they also do it because they'll be like, well, I mean, it's Iron Man. They're going to love Iron Man. Even if he's black, they're going to love him, right?
No,
right?
Well,
like,
yeah, and what you're saying is equity. Like, that's the reason, right? They're like, the reason why, here's the reasoning for why they don't just take a C or D or B list black character and promote them is because, white Captain America and Iron Man, they have such a head start on everyone. It's not fair. So the fair thing would be is to just make I don't know, let's say some 16-year-old into an Iron Man like character. We'll say Iron Heart, right? That sounds good, right? Right.
And the thing, it's almost like they forget though that it took time to build Iron Man into what he became.
Well,
he didn't walk in the door with a massive. People are okay. Is this going to be good? It could be good.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing about the Iron Man character. The Iron Man character in the original comics, he wasn't like an overly popular character.
No.
Captain America was well known just because he was around for so long, and he was included as the head of the Avengers. Now, Iron Man, even though a lot of people knew the character, he was not a widely popular character. The Hulk was popular. Spider-Man was their top seller. Those characters were popular. Yeah, it took time. It took money. They built him up in the MCU to be something a lot more than he was in the comic books.
Right.
Now, they could easily do that with a lower character. I mean, look, like Luke Cage was a fairly popular character, but even he wasn't a super popular character. Netflix did a really good job of portraying him and making him interesting enough that a lot of people watched that show.
Tommy,
and they
to piggyback off of real quick,
they could easily do that with any other character.
Well, think about what you're saying too, Tommy, to make it even a more solid point. When they rush it, you get DC Universe, where they have some of the most iconic superheroes of all time. And if they just stepped back and slowed down and did it right, instead of trying to get right to the death of Superman and the Justice League, they could have had something amazing over there. So you're right. It's all about taking care of the character. And if you give us, a trans Asian character, who's raised by a single black dad, I don't care what it is.
With diabetes.
With an angry white neighbor.
He's Blasian.
He's Blasian. Oh, Blasian. But if you take the time to let that garden grow, people will love it.
Exactly. And here's the thing.
It can't be a garden that's a little.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. And I'm probably going to get arguments saying that they are they are going to stick true to the comics. But here's the thing. It's an accelerated process, and really, the Ironheart comics and many of the stuff that they're going to be adapting from like the all new, all different era of Marvel are bad. They're trash books.
Yeah.
So you're just speeding up the process. And here's the thing.
Oh, of course she is. She has to be a criminal.
She's black, so she has to be a thief.
Well, it's not only has to be a criminal.
Is she fat and angry?
Do you really think the audience is really going to you really think the audience is that gullible that they're going to immediately draw to a character who is a blatant sociopath who did not earn the Iron Man honor but actually stole it?
Right, of course.
What do you mean, like Black Batwoman?
Yeah, no, they
yes,
all
exactly. So here's the thing, Tony. Okay, so in the books, Tony, when Tony gets killed by Captain Marvel in Civil War II, he becomes an AI for Riri.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh my God, it's Picard.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
No, like everyone's going to buy in except for those white guys.
Do you really think the audience is that stupid that they're going to pick that up and go run with it without even changing it? The best thing you could do is give it, like what Scott said, you got to give it time.
Yep.
You need time to give it, and you need to make a lot of changes here as well. And the same thing goes for Miss Marvel. Mm-hmm. Same thing goes for She-Hulk. Same thing goes for a lot of the new stuff coming out.
Green Lives Matter.
But if you express discontent with it and you don't like it, they're automatically going to attack you instead of saying, okay, what can we do to improve the character and what can we do to improve the story? I will never understand, what Script Doctor says all the time about how them not wanting fans in the writing room. Because I'm like, if you could bring in fans, they could tell you what we want to see. Right. And then you can go and give it to us.
That's not what they want. Like, look at what they have on Disney Plus right now, right? All of these feel like they came in with their own story, and whatever doesn't fit with what their story, like whatever came before, if it doesn't work, they're going to get rid of it or they're going to ignore it. Their story that they want to tell comes first, not the characters, not the fans, not the source material. Whatever they want to say, that is what they're focused on.
It's more nefarious. Even it's more about using the platform to push an agenda.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
See, I mean, it never used to be a big deal when they would just ignore stupid shit in the past. Like, that was just a common thing in movies and television. If stupid shit would happen, eventually you'd either have it would be a dream, or somebody would just ignore it, or they would just say something contradictory just to be like, yeah, that didn't happen, just so you know. But nowadays, it's not so much that, and that's why they don't want the fans in the room. And that's what I kept hearing everywhere I would go was like, yeah, if you're a Star Trek fan, and you want to write for Star Trek, sure, the last thing you want to tell them is you're a Star Trek fan. Same thing goes for Star Wars and shit like that. And it has less... It is a lot to do with, like, they don't want somebody telling, oh, you can't do that because they already did that, and this, that, and the other, or that contradicts this. They don't like that. That's part of it. But the bigger part is they don't want somebody going, you can't do that. So-and-so's white, or so-and-so's this, or so-and-so's that. That's what they don't want. They don't want somebody standing up and going, wait, you can't make Han Solo bisexual. That's what they don't want. And that's what the fans bring to the table.
And unfortunately, we're kind of seeing this. We are seeing this in DC because I'm hearing news that they're going to try to turn Tim Drake, the second Robin, is LGBTQ.
And that's the thing too. Like, they don't seem to understand fandom.
Right.
Like, when they do when their writers go out and attack fans, one of the things you notice is that if the fan,
not second.
If the fan has like toys,
right,
like, they make fun of that, and I'm like, don't you want to sell?
Well,
your
what
product?
was that again, Jayne? Who did they talked salty?
It was James Mangold, and he tagged Matt. I forget. I think Matthew Kadish of Salty Podcast.
Yeah,
but they've done it to other people too. Like, they will attack you because you have toys in the background in your video. Right. Like, but it's merchandise.
Exactly. And you're making a comic book movie. Who the hell do you think is going to watch it?
That has to do with people that have passion for those franchises and for those type of stories and for those characters, that they're willing to spend their money to go out and buy that kind of merchandise. And that's the thing that they're just failing to understand.
Well, let me ask you a question, Tommy. If I was, a writer doing the sequel to Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I made fun of those fans, I'd probably get canceled because they're the right fans.
Yep.
I forgot there was, but it's not that good. It was forgettable.
No, it's actually pretty good.
Well, I saw the first one in Chicago and it was awesome.
Right, anyway, you're saying, but no, the points are there.
Do you understand what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Well, no, and that's the thing is they want to get we're the wrong kind of fan.
Right.
That's what they don't want. It goes with this idea that, like you just said, the loyal to the past. They don't want that. They want somebody who's going to embrace whatever the fuck you give them, because that's what they see it as consume. And even if you're buying, even if we're the biggest group buying all the toys, all the shirts, all that kind of stuff, they don't care. They don't see that. They won't notice that until we're gone.
Well, because we're slowly
doing yeah, that's a big part of it too.
If you look at Twitter, like with like Loki, every positive thing you see is like, especially from the first episode, like, oh my god, did you see him when he had the feels?
He's crying.
Oh, he's crying again this episode.
Loki's
That's all they
god.
focus on. That's all they focus on is that, and like, oh my god, wow.
They made him they made him lame. Like, I know he's
gender parity.
Yes, but there you go. They're making the male Loki going to be the lesser of the two Lokis.
Of course,
he's like kind of like. Okay, I understand, like, Loki's the trickster, and you do see some of that, kind of
sucks
comedy's
now.
buffooning a little bit, but in this show, every other thing is making him look like he's a moron.
It's malicious to me.
It
is malicious. Very malicious.
Finish that, Jayne, because I think that's a really good word for it. It's wrong.
It seems like they are really trying to deconstruct his character, and I know Nerd Cookies likes it. You know, she loves the show so far, and she talks about how Loki has been sort of made fun of before in the films. But to me, that was more lighthearted, and he still had respect as a character.
Right, yes. I agree.
And as a villain, here it just doesn't seem that way. It's like they've made a joke of his character, not just him as a person in the story, but of his character as it exists. And it just feels different to me.
Well, it's clear that they didn't want this Loki, or this Loki doesn't work for their story, right? Because they're getting the Avengers, the first Avengers Loki. What they wanted was the Loki at the beginning of Infinity War. So what did they do? They did a 3-minute montage for him to have all that character development, and that is not how it works.
No,
you experiences make you who you are. Somebody can show you these memories or what may happen, but if you're not experiencing it, you're not going to have that growth. And
you
they
won't
did
have
the same
enough context and everything either.
Right. Like if you look at a Nebula in Endgame, it's so confusing. Main world Nebula who went good, right, is trying to explain to the other Nebula, like, no, like you're gonna become a guardian, like we're really, really cool now, like everybody likes us and we're cool. She's like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I'm paraphrasing, of course.
Where's the TVA to come get her ass?
Well, that's pre-approved by the Lizard Kings.
Well, let's not forget. It was pre-approved by the Lizard Kings that 2014 Thanos will come back and die in the future, or he'll jump to the future and die. So that universe he was in now gets wiped out.
It gets reset. No, it doesn't even get reset because that was supposed to happen. That's already pre-approved.
How's that pre-approved? He's jumping out of time. It's the
because that's pre-approved. You can do it as long as the Lizard King,
or
it interferes with the narrative. Yeah,
I'm the Lizard King. I could do anything.
Can I ask a question real quick? Because I was confused by this. I was actually watching a video about the second episode, and this guy I was watching, he said that the Loki we're watching now isn't the Loki from the Avengers because they reset the timeline.
Well, the Loki from the the first Avengers died. This is his variant.
No, wait, what? No, this is him.
Time doesn't work that way in Marvel. So
no, but we saw him leave there to go here.
That became a variant.
He became something else?
Yes.
Where's the other ones?
He jumped to a different timeline, remember?
But he is still him.
But it was him in the past.
Right. That moment's happening infinite amount of times where Loki gets arrested. That one time Loki gets the Space Stone, that's the variant.
Right. But
every other one goes and dies.
Right, but that timeline is now missing a Loki, right?
Absolutely.
But they reset
that timeline would have to be reset or destroyed.
Yes, reset. No, they just reset it, right?
Yeah.
Do they make a new Loki?
No, they just go back to the last save spot.
My guess is at the end of the show, he'll wind up right back where he began.
Mm-hmm. My guess is he'll come out the shower and just talk about how all this was a dream.
No, he'll see his brother in the sun.
I think personally, I think it opens up to why I think that the ending to Endgame opened up a lot of plot holes with Steve going back in time to take put the stones back in their original place.
Well, I think that not just going back in time, but he stayed back in time.
Yeah, he stayed back in time because
on this one.
Yeah, because even because I think it was Professor Geek and a lot of people pointed out was like, okay, so Steve, going back in time. I mean, so he let it basically. In other words, he did let Bucky get caught, become Winter Soldier. He did let September 11th happen. He let all these things happen.
Well, and also you have to consider the other stuff.
You can't tamper with time, though.
He would have been a target of the TVA as well.
He would have been
because that's pre-approved. It's pre-approved.
If he tampered,
we don't know. Hey, time out. We don't know what happened to him yet. We'll find out.
He went off.
Well, right, Tom. Wait a minute, real quick, and Culture. Then finish your thought because you're absolutely right. But didn't the writers say one thing and the director said a different? Like one said that he lived in an alternate. well, one said he lived in an alternate timeline, an alternate universe, and I think the director said he lived in the background the whole time.
Yeah, but those can't like both be true, because I mean
Right,
he
I
shows
know.
up
So it has
as
to
an
be-
old man,
So he
it-
had to live in the background, and he
Or
couldn't have
he
done
ti-
anything, right, Culture? He couldn't have changed anything.
Except that he did. He went back and he took away the life of the child that the other man had with Peggy. They
didn't have a kid.
Wrong. He changed Peggy's life. He changed Peggy's life and everything else around it. So he changed the timeline, so the TVA should have been up his ass 3 ways to Sunday.
It was pre-approved. Same thing with the Avengers. When Loki asked, like, well, hold on, the Avengers are the one that were running around all these different times, and it gets slid, next to me. I did what Loki does. I pick it up.
And then
but that was pre-approved.
But just like I was told at the beginning, the freaking time stones are freaking Infinity Stones mean jack shit. They're fucking paperweights all over the goddamn place, and it doesn't matter at all. So it's like none of this shit meant anything. If that's how you're going to
predetermined.
No, it's not.
Where's Howard the Duck when you need him?
Well, and I think with culture, I think what
It's their
culture's saying, what
explanation.
kind of, I don't know. I guess it kind of leads credence to the theory that in Civil War, when we had the funeral scene for Peggy, that one of the people that was actually holding the casket, along with Steve and Sam, was actually Steve.
Yeah,
the older
they already struck that
Steve.
down. They already struck that down. Because that would have been a nice little bow, but they would never have known that's where the Russo brothers were going to go with it. So, but we haven't even finished reading what she said. So I just want to finish that real
She's saying
quick.
dumb shit.
I love the dumb shit she says though, because it just makes me feel good that we're always right. Alonso continues, for the longest of times, we heard a woman-led film will never open. I say, please check Captain Marvel, made a lot of money. Then wait a minute, let me just finish it, brother. Then they also told us that Black Panther was never going to open and that nobody wanted to. Now, they don't even just say, like, I know they're inferring.
She's such a liar. She's
they're
such a
inferring.
It's a
no.
Who's
Let me
the
just.
us? Who's
Can I
the
just
us?
finish what I was going to say? Inferring who's the nobody. Who's the nobody that wanted a completely black cast and that made 1.3 billion? Like, that's inferring white folk. That's what.
No,
bothers
it's
me.
them. It's Hollywood. It's the people in Hollywood who didn't want it, who didn't want to see it, who didn't want to make it, and who didn't think it would be successful.
Yep.
Okay,
It's Hollywood. It's not the audience.
Okay, I could break what she says down real easily.
All right.
The whole for the longest time we heard a woman-led film will never open. I disagree with you strongly because we've been clamoring for the first woman to get her own solo film in the MCU should have been Black Widow.
Right, they screwed
We
her.
should have gotten a Black Widow solo film by the time Civil War happened.
Right.
And
Now
that
she's
would
dead.
have broke bank.
Yeah.
And
Thank
with
God
the whole
we didn't.
Black led, the whole with the Black Panther cast, that was wrong too because his introduction in Civil War was the highlight.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He stole the show.
Yep.
I wish that Black Panther had a movie, not the
Right.
Black Panther we got in the movie, because they are not the same.
The one thing I worry about with the Black Panther movie is how sick was he really? Like how, because he didn't have the same charisma he had in Civil War.
He was pretty far along at that point already. Yeah,
What an
there
amazing
were
actor.
stories that came out about
Yeah,
that.
I'm
That
with
he
you.
was suffering through it for a long time, and he just didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to worry nobody.
Right. It wasn't until we saw those photos later on that how much weight he lost.
We talked about it on the dump or one of my streams early on before the dump was I even think created, and I even said, I'm like, is he sick or is he on drugs?
Right.
Because I'm so
we
confused.
all pointed that out.
That's so sad, man. I really enjoyed his acting. I think he was talented.
Yeah. One thing I don't know about She-Hulk, though, is why don't we call her Shulk?
Right.
And with that thought, I think I'm going to exit. And I want to thank y'all for having me.
Tom, thank you always for coming,
See
man.
you,
Always
CC.
invited.
See you, Mad. See you, Jane. See you, McKinney. See you, Tom. Later, Sporking.
Take care,
Love
man.
you, Tom.
I like you too, Scotty, even though you smell like feet.
Well, I'll rub yours.
Maybe.
But yeah, love you, man. Later.
Much love, Tom.
I love him. He's such a good guy. I love him.
And a lot of people did think that Black Panther was going to be a turning point in film, like that they would see, okay, it can sell, it can make money, and especially when people started demanding more merchandise, we were like, okay, this is going to be good. We're going to see a turning point. We're going to see more of those characters being brought out, getting investments, getting really good films and production and all of this. And they turn right around and go right back to the stereotypical crap.
Right. Well, look at Captain Marvel
and all that nonsense.
Look at Captain Marvel. You got the token white woman, that, and Tina's perfectly correct here. The only reason Captain Marvel made that much money is because I was one of those people. I thought you had to watch it before you saw Endgame.
You didn't need to.
Not at all.
Not at all. And guess what? It shouldn't be a surprise that she's being backseated in her own sequel. Like,
the thing is, it's just like with Captain Marvel. It's like it almost kind of came out of nowhere because, I wouldn't say. It almost kind of came out of nowhere because although it was planned within phase, I think it was in phase 3, it still came out of nowhere because we didn't get that Black Widow solo film. We barely knew who the character was. She didn't get an introduction until that film.
It goes back to what y'all were saying too, though, about building on a character that isn't as well known or maybe not as well liked. They could have done some more with her to build her up over the next 10 years. What did they do? They dumped her and just said, we'll just go with the Marvels, period. We'll try these other things. They have no patience anymore.
Right.
No.
That's so messed up. It's so messed up, like how their mistakes, and it's the same way with government. It's the same way with media. Their mistakes, they try to turn on us, the average Joe, who just wants to see a good movie and don't destroy things that I love.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like they know that they're on the down slope, right? They're going down now. Yeah. So what are they going to do? They're like, if you look at the Eternals, anything good said about it, the trailer, where there's an article, a tweet, it was always about, oh, there's so much representation. Did you see all the representation? That's all you can say about this trailer because there's nothing else happening.
It's the United Nations of superhero team ups. Like that's what they went for. They just went for as much as possible. You know, and already the token white guy who is I call him Rob Stark. You know, he in the one trailer they have, he says I can take over the Avengers, and they all laugh at him. So right there, you know he's a joke.
But he also said something dumb.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They set him up to be dumb. That was good. Good.
The straight white male is going to be dumb. The black guy's going to be gay. The black girl's going to be masculine.
Fat and angry. Or masculine.
Controlling. And the white girl's going to be a Karen.
Yes. And you know what, Jayne, you pointed it out yesterday with Karen, with Nina Infinity on her channel, and it was a great stream you guys were having. But you're right. Like, what is up with the masculine or like overweight and angry black women portrayed as strong black women? Like, that's their portrayal.
That's what they want to see. That's what they want to see. It's Hollywood.
Let me.
Yeah, go for it, Makani.
Because I was watching Loki. That's what stood out.
I gotta find this post though, because it's gonna take you. I gotta find this post.
No, because all right, while you do that, I can say Jayne, because that's the first thing I thought too.
Yeah, I'm watching the show, and I'm like, okay, this is boring and dumb. And then you have this woman come out of there, and I'm like, this is the one. So this is who they throw in, and this is what they do. They just throw in this person will be black. Let's pick the worst character.
Right.
And if the character's not already bad, then they'll just make it bad. Because it didn't have to be that way. One of the things I proposed was that it would have been cool if the woman chasing him was actually beautiful. And they could have had a cute little back and forth where he's being Loki, you know.
Right. Well, and you're getting that with Owen Wilson, though. Wow.
But he's
that's the sexual thing. That's the sexual thing.
Across creepy because he's so old, and this girl that he's trying to say this stuff to could be his daughter. Like, it's just weird.
I thought it was worse this week with C20. Yeah, I know the name. Like, she
I
pops out of the
new one.
She pops out the little thing, and she is all of 19. And they're like, "Commander, what should we do?" I'm like, "Commander? What the? Who the?"
Right, that's the girl. If you haven't seen it, Jayne, that's the girl from
Hey, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
What was that? Dang it. She's the girl from that new show where they're, I'll think of it. She's a really good actress, but again, she looks like she's 12.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nothing makes sense about their rank system or whatever. Like,
Well, we had
it
didn't we have a little 12-year-old rebel in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier thing?
Yeah, and in the Solo movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The albino black.
Sorry, I had to share this.
Don't forget Broom Boy. Don't forget Broom Boy. And
The future. It's the future.
I had to share this because what Jade just said reminded me of this. I found was that it was a meme. It's like all white male video game characters look the same, and you see the thing in video games now where there's like they want to try to have more person of color as protagonist, and they show a picture of basically what most black women they do as a protagonist or as a main focus character in video games nowadays.
You see it on Fortnite too. The little and the funny thing about her, not to go a little bit off topic, but she looks kind of like that. But, and you think she's gonna be a cute little girl, and I thought, okay, this is gonna be kind of fun. She's cute, she's gonna be pretty, a little princess. And immediately she's like in charge and with this adult voice and telling people what to do and all this stuff. And I'm like, are you serious? Hollywood, like this is.
Wait, are you serious?
We can't escape it even in freaking Fortnite.
So Tina in the chat, when did they ever say that they were clones? How do I know that? How would I know that they're clones? And if they are clones, why did they choose them to be the clones?
In what?
In Loki. Like, why are these the ones they decided to use clones of? Why do they all have an American accent? Why does everything look like 1950s? Like, we want a Mad Men look, but with diversity.
Right, but there's no diversity because there's no aliens. It was the TVA created them, but
why did they pick humans?
They never said clones. I don't think they said
never
clones
heard
yet.
clones.
I mean, that's the original one might be clones, but
By
what
the way,
I do know is what I do know is they pick humans and no aliens.
Yeah,
that's kind
and as somebody that's been on fire, right? I would not recommend humans as your time force. If you're creating everything, choose something better. There got to be something better.
If the sun gets in their eyes too much, they might like.
Right?
Also, I think this could be like applied to most like Hollywood nowadays. Is like when you try to add your identity politics to like Hollywood, but you're so stupid and untalented, you end up becoming even more racist by recreating the same stereotypical character again and again.
Again and again.
Oh,
Yes,
wait,
sir.
time out.
did Mad just talk about being on fire again in a show?
No.
Please explain.
It was relevant. Relevant.
I keep hoping we can keep hoping he's going to burst into flames. Culture, it's going to happen.
Flame on.
Well, pardon me.
Almost any show I've ever been on, he can't
true.
miss an opportunity to talk about being on fire.
It was relevant.
Wait a minute. Why fire?
What do you mean? Why was what?
Whoa,
Why
hey, you
fire?
know what? This is a perfect opportunity to talk more about Mad. Go
Hold
ahead.
on. I do
I'll
want to
put
say
you
one
on
thing.
fire.
How does Owen Wilson, have a salad, but the other dude has no idea what a fish is? It's obviously a cafeteria.
Well, one's a vegetable, the other's
No, okay, I'm sorry. So they only eat salad? Clones? Is that their diet? Is that clone diet?
and 90s soda that no longer is around.
I like that.
They should have Jolt.
I'm still.
You're still speaking, Mads? Stop.
Yeah, well, I was waiting for more of the fire story, Mad. Mad, do tell us about being on fire.
I was on fire.
He is on fire.
Obviously, it wasn't long enough.
It was just long enough for me. I got
just wanna
everything
see
I
it.
needed out of it.
You know what? I'm going to
Matt
finish what she
Martin's the new
said.
Johnny Storm.
Here we go. So you can look so you can look at it from the social point of view, the cultural point of view. Be truthfully, this is a business. From a fiscal point of view, you are leaving money on the table by not representing.
You're leaving money on the table by doing it badly.
Right.
They don't understand how much money they could make if they just made good characters.
Right.
You could make, there's...
Well, let me ask you a question, because this diversity thing, you have people attacking, I always say his name wrong, Manuel, the guy who did Hamilton.
Yeah.
I understand maybe why people. I don't know. I don't understand. Like, he's making a film about a culture, Dominicans, and he has Dominican cast, and people just find something.
He's Dominican himself, I believe. But I think what it is, I kind of looked at that situation. I tried to look at it a little bit differently because we talk a lot about, or at least I do, about accuracy when it comes to how characters are portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there is criticism about the accuracy of this particular neighborhood. Is this what it looks like? If it is, then it's fine. And people are just, talking about the representation crap, which is nonsense. If it isn't what this neighborhood is, then I think it's fair.
Right. But
I don't know because I don't live in the Heights.
But he bent the knee already with
so fast.
Hamilton. So fast. Like, as soon as wait, why didn't you talk about slavery? That was in the story. Okay,
well, he already apologized
right.
for this. He already apologized for this, and he said, I'll do better. I'm sorry. And the problem is, this guy has done, and you have the woman from the original, I forget her name, damn it. But a legend in the Latino community as an actress.
Moreno.
Yes, thank you, brother. I just blanked. I mean, she gives him complete credit for bringing Latinos like front and center in movies today that she couldn't have done it.
And then she gets attacked.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't think that, but see, that's not inconsistent with the criticism. In other words, if they're saying that this neighborhood and these characters that he's putting on screen are Hispanic characters, and he's putting Hispanic characters in film and all that, that's great. That's not a response to the criticism of the particular Hispanics that he's putting on screen. In other words, what it sounds like people are saying is that he's basically doing what Univision and what Latin cinema does, where they highlight white Hispanics as opposed to what the majority of Hispanics look like.
And I'm sorry, I didn't even know this.
The criticism is, but to me, I don't know because I'm not in that community.
But you also, again, you and I both have never lived in the neighborhood that they're talking about in that area of Brooklyn Heights, right? So, but I can say this. If that's the area that Lin-Manuel Miranda is actually from, and at his point in time in his life, that's how he remembers it, how could anybody attack him for what he's representing from his memory or his experiences?
But that's what I'm saying. Is that what? Okay, so for example, I get what you're saying, but I think you have to also look at it in the context of what these communities sometimes do, because the community I am from that's similar is Creole in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. Which is very similar because we have a lot of the same issues when it comes to color. And I could realistically see, because we have seen it in some sort of productions, where people will represent the Creole community as if it's entirely light-skinned, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not true, and it's not true in their memory either. It's just a thing, this sort of subconscious thing of wanting to present the community as in that particular light. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
real
but
quick,
there's also a risk of,
real quick, 7 minutes ago, she apologized. Or 37 minutes ago. So I'm going to share this. And someone just...
Breaking news.
Yeah, this is breaking news.
Wow,
Who gave me the heads up? I'm sorry. Someone in the chat did. I apologize.
That super sucks.
But here we go. So she started with, in addition to applauding Lin for his wonderful movie version of In the Heights. Let me see if it goes in order here. I'm incredibly disappointed with myself while making a statement in defense of Lin-Manuel Miranda on the Colbert Show last night. I was clearly dismissive of Black lives that matter in our Latino community. It is so easy to forget how celebration for some is lament for others. In addition to applauding Lin for his wonderful movie version of In the Heights, let me add my appreciation for his sensitivity and resolve to be more inclusive of the Afro-Latino community going forward. See you can teach this old dog new tricks. Rita, you crazy
my
girl.
My first problem is her gendered language. It is Latinx or Latin.
Oh, she did leave that out.
Uh-oh.
You know, I said it before, and I'll
He's
say it
gonna get
again.
attacked
Welcome to
now.
Clown World. Welcome
Well,
to
that's the
Clown
first
World,
thing I
people.
saw.
I hope you all enjoy the ride. This is what we're going to be getting for the next 20 years if Hollywood keeps going the way they're going right now.
But look at it like this, though. If he would have done a story of, you know, with Black Latinx, you know, or whatever, Afro Latinx, whatever, right? You don't think they would come after him and be like, wait, who are you to tell this story? This isn't your like what you lived.
Yeah,
you know,
you're
you don't
light
know
skinned.
this life. Yeah,
You're-
like what
I
do you?
know.
What gives you the right to write my story?
It could be. I think that's a fair point, because you see, like in the Black community, sometimes that comes up with light-skinned people trying to argue on behalf or be allies to dark-skinned people. You do see that same argument. Like you're not going to make everybody happy.
No.
Like you shouldn't apologize every time someone criticizes you.
There was that one chick that wrote the book about like an immigrant, like in whatever, and they're like, "Whoa, you're not Hispanic enough to write that story. What do you know? You weren't an immigrant. Whoa, this guy's writing a female character. What does he know about it?" There's always going to be something. Don't bend a knee. Is that
okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead, Jay. I'll say it.
No, I was just going to say sort of my take on it is, if someone were to come here, like to where I live, and decide they're going to make a movie about the community and it doesn't reflect reality, I'm not saying I wouldn't criticize it. I wouldn't call it out as being stupid for how they did it. But at the same time, I think the attack on him was somewhat unfair, because they could have just said, look, it's a good movie, you know, good characters, good story. But what we want to do going forward for ourselves is create movies that better reflect what's actually happening in these communities and the people who live there. That would have been a better approach.
Things you said do not matter.
Well, can I ask a question though, real quick? In the Heights, is this like takes place in today's time, or is it like, you know, 60s, or is
I don't know. It was his first musical, so it's going back a ways.
It looks modern to me.
It looks modern because I haven't watched any of the stuff.
But here's the next thing. So now movies can only reflect the real world.
I know, right? I was just about to say.
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm specifically saying is, if you're going to make a movie that you are putting out there as if it reflects the real world, then the question is it? Or does it?
Then they shouldn't be singing in the streets. If they're not singing in the streets in the Heights, I don't want to see it in a movie.
You know, I don't know what you're talking about, Scott. I used to see people singing in the streets all the time.
What it does is that, in Jayne's case, I think in that case, understand it's concerned that it's concerned that you know, wanting accuracy. If this is based on accuracy, that they want to make sure that it's it's true. And it's written down and it's done by somebody who knows somebody who's very familiar with that and can probably understand that.
If it's historical, but if it's not, it's somebody's point of view.
However, and I agree with that. However, it's still that ongoing trend where I'm seeing subtly more and more in like comics and stuff like this, where, okay, to put an example, I remember hearing a story about an Asian writer who had a book published, but was bullied. Was bullied to not getting the book published because she was writing a fantasy novel that involved slavery, and she got a lot bullied because it's like, you can't be writing something like this that involves Black people or in slavery, and that's what they first go. That's the kind of their first mindset.
Poor kid's
That's what it reminds me. That's what I keep thinking about, is that I think in that sense it's okay if you have complaints about that, about accuracy stuff, it's fine, but it's still, I feel still like it's a slippery slope where
it's a very slippery.
It's segregation.
Yeah, I want to hear what culture. I want to hear what culture has to say real quick. I'm sorry, Makani, because the truth is, no one should put limits on anybody. If you're making a story, it's your story. Yeah.
If
it comes out the way you want it, and if you don't like it, don't watch it again.
Exactly.
You know?
If I write a story,
you're not
only
culture.
about
You're not culture. Culture, please.
Yeah, actually, that's fine. Scott, you made my point for me because.
Okay, then go back to me. So my what I was going to say.
Films don't have to depict the world around us. I mean, most sci-fi doesn't.
Right.
So I mean, I'm perfectly capable of writing a story where the United States was founded by black colonists who had white slaves, and we can tell the same story you would tell the other way. Or I can say that the aliens landed on the planet and took over and founded their colonies and made everybody that are humanoids slaves.
Oh, that's just true.
And here's the
it's the thing is so I don't care. This is where we come into the I don't care.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But like, if I write a story
Let the
about
man
what
finish,
I know, I
Mad.
thought was done. What's
God,
done?
you're as bad as me.
Sorry.
Culture.
So it doesn't matter to me if there were 25 white people in the background of in the Heights singing in the chorus. It doesn't matter. Who cares? And you aren't going to always find 25 people that match the colorism, because that's what this bullshit is, that you're looking for in stuff. And that's the other thing. You're now making an argument for character actors that do animation voiceover, that now they have to be representative of the things, which is complete craptastic.
And that's fine. I mean, you have people who don't care about whatever the actor is racially versus whatever it is they're portraying.
Right.
You do have that, but you do have people. I guess I fall somewhere between not caring, because I'm not a fan of colorblind casting, but I do like accuracy, which is why I feel when it comes to the race swapping of characters.
But are you telling it? If you're telling a historical thing, I agree with you. Like Anne Boleyn, which was being brought up in the chat. You're 100% right. Anne Boleyn was not black, but they just made a flop on Channel 5 in the UK where Anne Boleyn was black.
But there are some people who are like, well, any actor should play any role.
Hold on a second.
That only works one way.
Hold on, exactly.
Not always. They've just switched it around.
No, like if I were to make a movie about what I know, straight white male, and that's all that was in the movie, it was just a movie with all straight white men, right? I would get so much hate because of
Spartacus.
I mean, keep naming them, guys. These are great movies. No, but like if that's all I had in my movie, I would get so much hate for not including anyone else like at all. But if I write a story that is not even about a straight white man, I will get all this hate because I don't know their story. What do they want?
You're always going to get hate. Go ahead, Makani.
And that's the thing what Martin is saying, and that's what I'm saying, Jayne, is that like the problem usually the outfit, when people throw a fit is that it's normally whenever it's a white person doing it. Whenever it's a white person writing a different character, that's where a lot of the outrage will go towards, because it's only a white person doing it. And that's why I still stand by, you should be allowed to draw whoever you want, whatever characters you create.
Right. I mean, you're absolutely right. And I've brought it up before too. I don't mind race swapping if it doesn't affect the plot, the not the plot, but the canon of that character. So if you're going to race swap a character, it can't be the sea snake, or someone that's, family is almost like elves, pure white elves. And now you're having paternity issues
because it's lore breaking.
It's such lore breaking. But can minor characters, would I have had a problem if all the Starks were black characters? I would have been fine with that. If the whole Stark family, that would have been kind of interesting. A whole northern house that was all black, because always the northern houses are white Viking looking people, but that's not how it was portrayed. So now you can't have like one of the daughters is black, but the dad and mom are white. It's just the way like they decide to change it. Like if you're going to swap for the right reasons, or just create your own. That's, Culture, were you done?
He's eating.
Okay.
Makani, I mean, it's not just the white writers that they're attacking black writers who think the exact same way, and they don't want to see race swapping because they respect the lore and they respect the mythology. And they actually get it much worse because they're supposed to be siding with that agenda, at least according to these lunatics and the way that they think in their minds. They think if you're a minority, that you should automatically be siding with them. If you're not, you are like the devil incarnate. You are worse than a white person. Because I've already seen them call out numerous people. I mean, look how many times Young Ripper gets called out because he doesn't agree with a lot of that shit. And some of the crap that they say to him, it's outlandish.
He calls out the
you do, but what's so funny though about it is that within the Black community, these same conversations take place. You see the criticism on the outside looking in, but with behind closed doors, so to speak, you have these exact same conversations happening. You see many people in the Black community who share the concern about what Hollywood is doing.
Are they just scared to speak up?
They just don't feel like they should have this discourse in front of company.
Is that it, Jayne, or are they scared of being canceled too?
I don't think they're scared of being canceled because who's going to cancel them but themselves, really?
Right, because I grew up knowing, like, as a younger kid, it was pretty much just white people I knew. And then when I got to high school, like, I was really introduced to friends of all colors, nationalities, and all I can say is there are conservatives in every race. There are liberals in every race. You know, like, it doesn't matter what you look like. It's pretty much what's your job? Are you a family man or not? You know, like, those are the things that make you kind of mold your outlook on the world and on government.
And the thing is, Black people, for the most part, are conservative. That's what's so funny about the surprise the left had when Black people voted for Biden over Bernie Sanders. Like, they were just like, well, how dare they? He was involved in the civil rights movement. No, he's a bit out there.
Yeah.
Even for the left. And so Black people in the South were just like, no, we'll go with this, regular traditional, politician type. And they just were surprised, like, how could this happen? Because this community actually is conservative. Where they tend to lean more liberal is when it comes to civil rights issues and perceived racism.
I understand that. But I do like this statement right here. I don't care about race swapping, but we have a Black Anne Boleyn and Arita, how you say her last name again, Culture? Morena is apologizing because the Latino actors weren't dark enough. Like,
Latinx.
It's just the things they pick.
And the thing is, we had a similar situation with
X gonna give it to you. Sorry.
With Zoe Saldana having to apologize because she wasn't dark enough to play what's her name, Nina Simone.
But see, that was the thing too. Is it here? And this is the question I will pose.
Now you have interracial.
I'm gonna pose this question to people who like me take issue with race swapping.
Mm-hmm.
You see, when white characters are swapped with mixed people, criticism.
Mm-hmm.
In this instance, you had a Black person swapped with a mixed person.
I would criticize that too.
Yeah, you might. But you also had some people sort of upset that people were upset. And it's like, no, it's the same thing.
But here's the thing, Jayne. I don't look at somebody and say, you're not white enough to play this character.
That's not what they were saying.
Right.
Yeah, but understand, there are different shades of white. I mean, let's be honest, because you have different descendants. And here's the thing. If somebody was incredibly pale and somebody who was not quite as pale were going to play a character, because they, were burned on 60% of their body or whatever story they keep telling. Whatever, dude. Anyway, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not measuring the color of somebody's melanin that happens to be white, and, when people look at me because, I'm going to use some of their wackadoodle terminology. I'm white presenting. I'm not 100% white, right?
A lot of people aren't. That's not my point. My question was posed to people who do take issue with race swapping. Right. If you do take issue with it, then why is it okay when a mixed person portrays a Black person, but not when they portray a white person?
So all I could say is this: when it affects canon, I'll have a problem with either way it is.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's just me.
Well, and this is a real life human being, though. This is different from the Anne Boleyn situation.
Oh, then I would be all against it. Get someone who actually looks and is of the same race or nationality, because that's historical. To me, you should stick with historical.
Yeah, don't
And I also
judge
have to be
me. Don't judge me by my fur color, people.
I also have to be interested in whatever the story is. Like if it's something I'm not going to see, you know what I mean? I'm not going to go out of my way to get shit on by the internet.
And it is more of a general sense, and it's like when people champion this, and like when people champion this race swap, we always want to throw it back at them as like, okay, so if you're fine with this, then let's make a White Panther then. Oh wait, so we can't do that now?
Well, it wouldn't be white. He would still be called Black Panther, but he'd be white.
Exactly.
I'm still waiting on the White Wolf to have a child.
Oh my god, that'd be so awesome.
It just goes back to it goes back to the double standard and hypocrisy. And I'm like, okay, so if you're fine with this, then okay, then we can do the same too.
Yeah, well, but the problem with that, though, Makani, is that that only makes sense if you erase history. Because I can tell you right now, a lot of what's happening with these race swaps is a sort of like a gotcha in response to race swapping in the past.
Response to a gotcha moment?
Yeah, it's like you did it, you race swapped all this time, so now we're going to do it, and you're going to have to accept it.
So I'm going to ask a question. Has anybody ever seen Cleopatra? Like the person? Like the real life person?
Have I?
Well,
I know
I was
her
talking
descent.
more of the blackface stuff.
I know her
descent.
descent.
I was going to say, if that's the case, then how would you explain,
Robert Downey
the fact
Jr.
that we're having every redhead get replaced nowadays?
No, I'm just saying you had.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying you had this time period in Hollywood where white people were like making their eyes skinny and making their skin dark to play minority characters.
The Asian one to me was one of the worst. You see like the Asian one, maybe like Breakfast at Tiffany's might have it.
Oh yeah,
It's so obvious that that's a white dude with like his eyes pulled back and
Sporking. You look at some of the older movies like John Wayne playing Genghis Khan.
Kung Fu.
I was cool with that one.
Right.
Kung Fu, that's what I'm saying. Like that kind of stuff was happening, and then it seems like today they're doing it in part
as a we're getting back at you.
Like retaliation. That's the word. Yeah.
I'd like to know what culture. Can I ask what culture? Where were you going with the Cleopatra thing?
It's irrelevant.
Well,
I mean,
I have something that's relevant.
Oh, shut up, man.
Because Gal Gadot was cast for that role and got a lot of crap for it.
Yes, she did.
She's an Israeli and she can't play a Muslim.
The thing is,
or whatever. I don't even know.
Yeah, but Cleopatra's Greek descent.
Cleopatra's black, but
and so is she.
She's more Greek.
Well, no, she is.
She's 100% Greek.
She's 100%. Her.
Well, we don't know that she was 100% because there were
that's what I'm saying. We don't know.
Let me just say it's. If anything, she's more Greek than anything.
Yeah,
because I mean, they were even involved in like Targaryen incest to try to keep that bloodline pure.
Right.
So you're right about a couple mothers being added into the bloodlines so their kids didn't, have one
7 arms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is this is with the whole with Gal Gadot and that situation. What I found was just absurd is that Israel was part of Egypt at one point. The land we now know as Israel was part of Egypt. So this is actually part of her history.
Did it go up
but
that
she's
far?
also I don't know about that.
I know Rome and Greek.
It
I didn't realize it went up that far.
Did. Yes, their empire extended
I thought it came
far.
right to the foot of it. Okay, all right. That's but even if it's wrong, it's still like I'm sorry, that whole Mediterranean area, when the Romans and the Greeks and now the Egyptians, everybody lived and kept moving around there. Trade was moving. There was a lot of people sleeping and having kids all over the place. Like, if you want to talk about a culture that a lot of people look alike in different continents, it's that Mediterranean top of Africa loop around to the boot of Italy. I was shocked when I did ancestry because my grandmother was born in Sicily. I always thought I'd have a certain percentage of African, in me. I had none. I was shocked by that.
I could have told you that one. Like, I don't want to.
Shocked.
Like,
but is that a color thing? Are you being racist?
No, you just can't dance. You have no rhythm. I've seen it. I've seen you play the bongos.
I've
seen you play the bongos.
Okay, well,
wait a minute.
But I do have something that. I do have something that was relevant to something that Jayne said earlier. Kendall X, what's his name? He wrote the how to be an anti-racist. book, Kindle X, something like that. Anyway,
how to be incredibly racist? You mean?
Yeah, right. So what he said was what he said was to right the wrongs of the past of racism, we have to be racist today, and to keep that racism in the past from coming around again, we are going to have to be racist in the future.
Yeah, except that's not working.
Yeah, no, not at all. But
I did not know that. I really didn't. I thought it came up to right below like Jerusalem. I did not know that.
What time period was this?
It was 15th century BC, but it was important because I believe this was the only part that could grow crops at a certain point in time in their history. If I'm not mistaken.
No, the Nile deltas up top were very fertile.
Well, yeah, but during a period of time,
during the inundation, they were fertile.
Thank you.
And I think you're right about the whole idea, because that would be trade routes too. Going up that way is trade routes.
True.
So Jerusalem was like
Empire was that high. I didn't realize that.
Well, so Jerusalem though was like right there at like it was almost a T. You had these people coming from the left and right, and they were all taking the same path, and they all go through Jerusalem, which is why.
That's why the Romans wanted it, the Greeks wanted it. Now the Egyptians. Thank you, Jayne. I did not know that, and I'm a history buff. I'm a history buff, and I missed that. All right.
That's cool.
So why are people mad at her for representing her history?
Yeah, because it's exactly her history.
I want to fight those people now, because they're just wrong. They're wrong. Man, we just did one topic tonight, pretty much.
Yeah, we never got to that article.
We never even got to it. I mean, she's horrible. Like, some of the stuff I was reading is just like she's trying. I don't know if she's trying to be like sarcastic or edgy. I don't know, but she's like, my hope is that in every room, in every conversation, in every meeting, in every moment of consideration for others, that people actually take the time to think and say, is this a balanced story, or is this a one person point of view story? Well, what's wrong sometimes with a one person point of view?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I didn't read ahead. So let's see. It's okay she does say this. It's okay to have one point of view clearly, but what's important is that if your lead is a certain type, that doesn't mean that everyone around is the same.
Unless the story takes place in a place where everyone around them will be the same.
Well, here she goes.
But the thing is, it's a
otherwise, you're just tokenizing people.
Look at Black Panther. Most of the side characters are black, along with the main character. So her argument is false moot.
On the other hand, they did throw in some white people, so maybe that's what she's talking about.
But still,
it was two token white people.
And even the same thing can be said with Shang-Chi as well.
Culture. Oh yeah, right. Well, we haven't seen Shang-Chi yet, but that is definitely Asian. It's all Asian.
And it's terribly stereotypical, and it's going to be poorly received.
I mean, real quick, Culture. He even does the like jacket move, like that, like Bruce Lee or something, like the. What? Yeah, he does the like after he kicks two dudes, he does the jacket move.
He tugs his gi.
Like I gotta.
It's unrealistic. Like it's unrealistic. Like because we all know San Francisco is not that clean.
Right. Well, that's good. Culture. What were you just about to say about it?
I was just gonna say in Black Panther, one white guy was a bumbling fool of an American intelligence agent, and the other white guy was a bad guy.
Yeah, it's like the reverse of how films usually are in Hollywood.
And I liked Jayne. You're right.
Except that every single film I've ever seen, Jayne, well, not every single one, but most of the films I've ever seen are like Denzel Washington kicking everybody's ass. Or, I mean, I'm sorry, but
Training Day, that one. That wasn't a stereotype at all.
Come on, dog.
Oh, wait. Okay, so here's the thing. Not all stereotypes are necessarily bad. It's how they're done that makes them bad.
It's not that they exist that's the problem. It's that they're so prevalent. You don't have the same range of characters. That's why I criticize how they do these characters so often, because it's the same character. It's a cookie cutter situation. We just discussed the same black female character in how many different projects? And it's the same character. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not criticizing the fact that you have stereotypes. I'm fine with those.
Denzel Washington does a better job of portraying whatever he's playing than you could ever be imagined. He even took over.
He's a great actor.
Well, and the thing is,
let culture finish that point. He hasn't gotten.
I was going to say he even took over a white role in The Equalizer in 2 great films. So it doesn't. I mean, you know who's not upset about that race swap? Me, because he played the character to the bone. You know, and that's the thing. If you're going to be able to carry off the character, that's all I care about, right?
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of the reasons why I can't even believe that there's an.
Thank God Queen Latifah got that role from him. So much better in her hands.
Right.
She's so athletic.
That's actually where I was headed with that.
I know.
Yeah,
I know
everybody's
you were.
stealing your thunder tonight, culture. Let me just read this one part because I love it. When I walk into a room, I do a head count of how many women. If there's only 3 women in a room and there's 17 men, I usually make this comment. Oh, there's a lot of men in here today. Is it passive aggressive?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, Jayne. Oh, wait a minute. Jayne's a woman, so she said no. Yes, you're right. Okay. But all you men, no. You could take it that way if you have a dirty conscience.
No.
It really.
What are you talking about?
Literally,
I love
she
this
said
next part.
It's really calling it what it is. It's my reality, but I'm 15% of that equation. Still at this level, it's still not 50-50.
No shit, it's not 50-50. People make choices. They want the equality of outcome without ever taking into account that some people don't want to do your stupid shit.
What about the quality?
Exactly.
Like, do you have to take a dive on quality for? That's always been the argument. This equality over quality, you know, and
equity over equality.
Yeah, I just want to know
quality of outcome over equality of opportunity.
The problem with that is that they're not choosing. Like, we all know people who produce quality content within this community.
Yes.
But they're not hiring based on quality of content. They're hiring based on agenda, politics.
Yeah.
And
so they're not going to hire black people unless those black people agree with what they're saying.
Valid point.
And I wanted to bring this up because you brought up Denzel Washington earlier. Do you guys remember the story of the one writer on what was it, Superman and Lois, who got fired?
Yes.
Well, remember this. One of her background was that she spent years convincing people to not put black characters as villains. That's
because
the problem here.
They've been that way too much, or like I don't.
Yeah, it's just like what's wrong with having a black villain? What's wrong having a non-white color as an actual villain? You don't need because that's the thing. It's like when you put non-white characters as villains, they always have to be sympathetic. They always have to be. It always has to.
But that's such a new thing though, because they used to be just like Italian mobster or whatever, you know.
The Germans, like they were bad guys for a long time.
Russians.
Yeah. But like, if you notice now, like with female villains, like in Thor Ragnarok, they never actually get defeated by a male hero. They always. They sometimes they'll end up like Shredder in The Secret of the Ooze. Like, whoa, man, you're gonna, you know what I mean? Like he tears it down on himself. You know.
Right.
They can't actually lose. Like there are no stakes with female villains.
Right.
And in the case with Cruella, like Emma Thompson's character, that's just internalized misogyny.
But man, I didn't watch that shit. Sorry,
I haven't watched it.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was like with Emma Thompson's character, I had ever heard that brought up. Was like it was what you were saying looked like making the female villain being sympathetic.
Oh,
and in the case with Cruella, it was like Emma Thompson's character, the villain, the other villain, that was just internalized misogyny.
You know what I also think is happening with villains, and I see the same thing with Loki. It's almost somewhat too like they're trying to reshape characters that we like, even villains we like, to make them neutered.
Right, and I can't stand it. You know what it is?
They nerf them big time.
Yeah. Loki is all about the mischief, all about being smarter than you, talented at magic, and like he's nothing. Now he's like running around after him trying to figure out the plan, and like, he left because he had to leave. Look, all I could say is this. I don't, ever since Thanos, I feel like everybody has to, a layered villain. Sometimes a villain's just great when they're a villain. Like a Bond villain.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, exactly. We don't want that.
Like Littlefinger. Littlefinger was great.
They just want to watch the world burn.
Yes.
Littlefinger wasn't redeemed, and he was great. He was
great.
And
then,
but
what did they do?
What
did they do to him in the show? They made him cry like a bitch and get his neck.
Yeah, they did the ending. Ugh.
Like those two little girls would have got him. Come on. All right, we got to wrap it up though, guys. I'm sorry. It's just I got to get up early.
Yeah.
That was fun though. I never did just one article before. Well, yeah, no, I do that a lot.
Well,
okay, that's
last Saturday's show.
You let me loose on a panel with smart people like Jayne Theory
and me, yeah,
and Makini.
Yeah,
and me,
Thank you.
And Tom.
Yeah, and me.
And Tom.
Yeah. I wish you had more of an opportunity to speak, but someone new here like to.
Okay, yeah, it was all me.
I mean, mostly. Makini does this thing where he just keeps muttering till he gets his opening and then he jumps, and I respect the shit out of that.
No, and here's
that's me too.
I know Makini's always working, so when he interrupts me, I'm like, "Go, dude, go!" Because he's always drawing. I know in the background he's just drawing away.
And he's really thought about that.
I know, and he's thinking about it. He's like, "Oh, I'm going to draw this better." And
when Jayne speaks, I listen.
I try to think about what everybody says too, so that I don't just. I try to think about what everybody says before I go in, just so I can at least know what I'm saying, at least convey what I'm trying to say right. Although I will admit that I feel like I have been beating a dead horse with a lot of the stuff that I kept saying on the dump all the time.
Makini, that's not beating a dead horse. That's beating a dead Kennedy.
I know. All I can say is
it's still happening. So
speak from the heart, dude. Just speak from the heart, and we're dealing with the same stories, maybe different people, but it's the same thing happening over and over again. And I took into, like, Mads is in the chat. Love her, Mads Mama Bear. Make sure you guys check out her channel. Brought up a really powerful like conversation on Saturday where people in this this fandom, be it the fandom menace, if that's even still the name of it, whatever it is, but the idea that she felt like she couldn't admit she liked Wonder Woman 84 because she would be called someone who, condoned rape.
Or being told not to like it. Or being told not to
now, my thing was this. I would look her in the eye and say, that movie sucks. But I would have a discussion with her about why I think that movie sucks. Not why I think she shouldn't want to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, that's fandom. Fandom is like us arguing.
We did that same thing last week with Loki. Yeah. You came in like, oh, so good.
Yeah.
Or tell her, like, I think it sucks, but you should be able to openly express how much
I say that to Tina every time, because Tina and I started out loving the Marvel WandaVision, and then the last two episodes, fell off, and then I didn't fall in love with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But like, I understand. I'm happy she loves it. Like, I hate, the arrogant comic book guy who's like, oh my God, you didn't read issue 132, Spider-Man, amazing, from 1970, blah, blah, blah. No, like, I'm happy she likes it. If it doesn't affect, because there's people out there that, like, I'll say, yes, but this screws up canon. And then you'll have the same people that know as much about the canon that says, yes, it screws up canon, but I still enjoyed it. That's your right. That's what we're supposed to be here. We're supposed to be people that
and just openly express it.
Yep.
Well, Scott, I made that point earlier when I was talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. That movie destroys canon. It mangles it badly.
But I love it.
But the way that they did those characters, they did it in a way where it could still be enjoyable.
And Culture, what were you going to say? And then Jayne, Culture first.
No, you guys.
That was sexist and racist. Jayne first, please.
I was just going to say, with good writing and good casting, you can forgive just about anything.
Yep.
But that costs money. And so that's where I think the money aspect comes in. It's not so much that they are trying to make money, it seems. It's that they just don't want to spend too much of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Culture? Then Mad.
But
No, I want to hear what your view on this. The idea, because you weren't here Saturday, it was a really good, and I know you probably didn't watch the stream, so it was a pretty good, because you're a busy guy, you were on vacation, that's what I meant. I just realized how that came out. But it was a really good conversation. Like, at first I was almost upset, not at Mads, but at I was pissed at the idea that people in this fandom made her feel, like, allowed her to feel that way. Like, granted, I've learned through...
Who got to feel what way?
Mads. Mads loves a certain movie. People told her, you know, she shouldn't
Mad
like
Mama
it.
Bear?
Yes.
What movie did she love?
Oh God,
Wonder Woman. Well, it's in general. It's just like,
oh
you know,
no, I have no look. This is the thing I tell people. Look, I understand that I'm going to yuck your yum. And it bothers me that I do that. Right?
Same here.
You know, but at the same time, I'm going to call out the shortcomings of everything. Yep. But I tell you what, you are allowed to like what you like and love what you love. Just because my opinion differs doesn't mean anything. Our opinions are different. Yep. I want you to have, you know, first of all, you should have the temerity to love what you love and not care what anybody else thinks.
Well,
but
Culture, wouldn't you agree to this? And then please finish. But wouldn't you agree to this? The Fandom Menace was all about. That's what it was created as.
No,
you know, love what you love and don't piss on me.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. It's like if you feel attacked by other people in the community, that's one thing. First of all, I don't want to attack anybody, you know. But I'm going to tell you that I think that that Queen Latifah is an incredible talent in everything that she does, seemingly, but she was miscast in a television show representing the Equalizer, which she has no business doing. You know, because again, it's something in name only. So I'm going to call that into question. I did that with Mad Mardigan on a show that we were never able to repeat again because Mad couldn't bring himself to watch any more episodes of the show. So
what was it?
He couldn't get his girlfriend to watch it. So, but or something. I don't know. He made a bunch of excuses. I don't even care what they are.
It was the storm.
Whatever, dude. Anyway, and so. But that's my point is I don't like the show, but if somebody likes it, good.
Yeah.
Good. We often are going to find ourselves asking the most important question was, who was this made for? Because it's not for the larger audience, which is what you're trying to appeal to. Right. Even if you're an artist, you don't want 10 people to like your art. You want 100 million people to like your art, right? Because there is a sense of satisfaction and well-being in that.
Yep.
You do if you're an artist, though.
Yeah, but
a specific narrative you're trying to push.
Sure. Art for art's sake is one thing, and I respect that. If you want to create art that nobody's ever going to see, you do you, right? You do your thing. But if you're going to display it to the public, you want it to be liked. You do. That's the thing. We are dealing with an industry full of incredibly
narcissistic.
Well, yeah, but not only, but they're they're not just narcissists, but they're insecure people because they want love, and they surround themselves with people who give them the constant amounts of love, even if it's unmerited. Right. But when they get outside of that little bubble, and this is the stupidity of these people, they step outside into social media and they get their cans kicked in. There's a reason for that, you know, because you know what? There's not a bunch of yes men in the real world. So you're going to have criticism. And ultimately that's a video that I wanted to make down the road is, you know, you stepped into the public light. And the minute you started to talk about things you are not informed about, you know, or you only have one small idea about, or you've been told something that's completely inaccurate, you know, you are going to be corrected, you know, you know, and we live in a different place now than we ever did, where these people are they've been so protected that when they're confronted with criticism,
they fall apart.
They can't handle it.
Right.
And so, but the Fandom Menace came about because we were criticizing things we didn't like, and we were being attacked for it. Not
Mobs.
because we didn't have valid criticism, but they just threw heaps of names at us, and Man Baby. And I have never seen a bigger Man Baby than Mr. Man Gold. He gave us Man Baby Man Gold here in the last few days by attacking, Matthew Kadish.
Yep.
Right. And so it's and it's the thing, you got to love what he does. I mean, Salty Nerd's freaking awesome. Right.
Yeah.
And so, but it's just, anyway, I'm circling around a lot of subjects. I'm not going to circle back to them because I don't work in the White House. But I
come on.
But
man.
their whole thing is, if you don't like something, be silent about it. No.
Yeah, absolutely,
No.
Jayne.
No,
That's what they say.
Guess what doesn't work? Being silent. Because you know what? You're silent about people burning down your local courthouse.
Yep.
No.
Peaceful protesting.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, really? That's the hill you want to charge up and defend?
Well,
No.
Culture, some of the same people that were
Don't say anything.
some of the same people that were being quiet before, they wound up suffering later on, and then all of a sudden it became a big problem for them, and they wanted everybody to listen. Well, why should we listen to you when you were absolutely fine with it before?
Well,
When did it become though the situation where consumers aren't allowed to provide feedback on the products we're consuming?
There's a whole thing called Consumer Reports.
Right.
You can provide feedback as long as it's positive.
Yeah, they got Consumer Reports. They got the Better Business Bureau. There's a lot of places that you can actually make it known how you feel about a lot of these corporations and these businesses. So
yeah, well, there is, and the Better Business Bureau.
But if you do it on YouTube, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Nah.
Well, if you're a straight white male, for sure.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm gonna step up my game now. Because I've kept out the politics for the most part and the stuff I talk about on my channel, and I've kept out,
You got your 2K, baby.
That's true. I kept out a lot of the stronger reactions that I've had to things, in the interest of trying to appeal to more. But since my channel stopped growing 2 weeks ago,
oh yeah, tell me about your channel stopped growing.
Well, this is the thing. I've been true to myself now. Like, yes. Oh God.
But here's the thing.
Go ahead, Jayne.
One quick point.
Please.
Quick point to follow up. Matt is absolutely right about how they attack straight white males.
Right.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that when they do that, and you have all, like in this community, all of these different quote unquote people of color in the comment section, they literally have blinders on. They pretend they don't see us.
Right.
In the same conversation.
Jayne, isn't that how the Dark Council came about? Because all those guys were just like, people wouldn't even talk about them when they talked about the white supremacists in the Fandom Menace. And you have all these guys who are black men.
Well, but with internalized white supremacy.
Oh my God.
Right. Internalized.
What's with that?
Plus, I mean, I'm sorry, but Damaj and I, if I were,
he belongs to the pimp race. Yeah.
He does. He's coming on soon. I can't wait to have him again.
Dude, get him on.
Oh, he's the best.
I was on his.
J.
I was on Keepers of the Force with him last Sunday.
Oh, that's right.
Awesome,
Yeah.
bro.
All right, guys, we gotta end this. It's been God, it's almost 10 o'clock. Okay, yeah, we're gonna end this. We're gonna do a quick run through. I'm gonna start with Makani because you usually take the longest. No disrespect, Makani. I'm just saying because you have a lot to say. And guys, can we get him to 600, please? Seriously, man, put your link out there, Makani. And I'm gonna do a tweet right now about that while you talk.
I'll just share this. If this isn't enough for 600, then I don't know what I'm doing then.
Dude, that's enough for 1,000 or 10,000.
So
15,000.
yeah, this will be the Tuesday video. I got a Thursday video.
Dude.
Other than that, I will not be doing Makani live on Sunday because I'm going to be spending time with my old man for Father's Day. So.
Oh, that's right. Okay, good for you, sir.
Makani, kudos to you for getting that tree representation in there, buddy.
Well, it's a palm tree, but still.
Yeah, listen. You know what? If I know our buddy Walton, he can drill anything.
At least hammer it. So
yeah, just get into if I can get if I can just get that little push over to 600, we'll do a celebrate.
And what you at right now? What are you at right now? What are you at right now?
Let me check.
Mocking me.
591.
591.
I just lost a sub, actually.
Well, that's gonna happen, Makani. I'm sending out the tweet. Everybody retweet this, please. I'm gonna be hitting send in a minute. All right.
Yeah, give me the 600, and I promise the next stream we do, once I get back, will be a celebration stream.
Yay.
Celebrate your stream. Come on.
All right,
but the final road is 1,000. So
thank you very much. All right, next up we have Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective.
Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective, where you can find me on my channel, nibbling off toes, and currently we're still in our fight with YouTube. Screw you, LubeTube. Yeah, they like to keep taking subs away. They like to shadow ban people's comments, whether it's in the chat or whether it's on videos. And you know what? We have to speak up about it. We don't have to take it. But normally we're talking about old toys and old movies and the such. You know, it's one of those things, though. You can't let it go unanswered. Jayne has said it. Culture has said it. Nobody cares what Mad said. But everybody has said it here at some point that you can't let them just walk all over you. You can't sit. So,
yeah, that's what I thought too. Yep.
Remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not watch.
Yep.
Thank you, my brother.
Your silence gives consent.
Oh, we're losing you, but thank you, brother Tommy. We love you. Mad, what do you got to tell these people?
Nothing. I mean, look.
Kind of like your channel. Okay.
Yeah, no, like I do a channel. It's great. If you're still here and haven't subscribed yet, like maybe you shouldn't. Like, what more do I have to do to convince you that I'm awesome?
I like that reverse psychology. I like that. That works.
Actually, I'm going to say something nice about. I'm going to say something nice about Mad Mardigan.
Are we breaking kayfabe?
Street Smarts is a very interesting show, and you should just sub just for that. So and make sure you hit the bell, because, and you don't have to hit the bell, but you should just show up, because on Wednesdays and Saturdays there's entertainment there, usually in me, they're writing
everything, life. Yeah, no, look, just check it out. Like, it's a hard show to really, describe so people get an idea what it is. I say, like, just watch the first 4, or watch like 4 of them, maybe 5, and then, come to the decision.
Watch the one with our celebrity.
Oh yeah, we've had a few.
Yeah, Till Don DeBisco, Bastus DeBusto. What is that?
Clint F. DeCisco. He wrote, starred, directed, and did the catering for one of the greatest movies ever made. It was called "Oh God, Crap, I'm Stranded," and it was amazing.
It's so good. We watched it 3 times.
That's awesome. Good stuff, guys. Jayne Theory.
Yay! You can find me here on YouTube, where I post movie and television reviews and pop culture commentary. Just dropped a reaction to the new Picard 2 season 2 trailer. So
I haven't even seen it.
It's interesting.
Well, I'm the first person to retweet yours, so I got you.
Thank you. And you can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jayne Theory.
So thank you, Jayne. And I really... Please come back as many times. Please, I love having you on streams.
Being here.
You bring up the IQ.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, especially when you bring in, other people.
Yeah. Darius Munchhausen for $2. Culture is really yucking my yum.
I'm sorry, Darius.
That was classic, dude. Yucking my yum. That's got to become something, guys. Please.
What is that? A T-shirt?
I think it's a T-shirt in the making.
But that's not my saying. You're stealing.
I've never heard anybody.
You're the only person that's ever said it.
Oh well, then I'm very sorry about that.
What did you? Who else said it, Matt? I didn't even mean to do you. I was going to do my.
Oh.
I hate myself.
All I said was like he's the only person that's ever said it.
I've never heard anybody else. Culture Casino. Why don't you do it?
I've got.
Wait a minute. You get the big screen because you're my.
Oh, well, thank you. I do. I have a YouTube channel. You guys might have seen it. It's Culture Casino. I have a Odyssey channel that I promise I'll be doing news updates on next week. It'll happen. Culture Casino over there too. Mine's Culture Casino, which is now connected to my crypto wallet, which means you can actually send me money over there that the government won't know if I have or not.
That's
and then. And I also have a Twitter for as long as I'm allowed to stay there because I'm getting irritated now, which means I'm going to start saying things that might not make people happy with me. But other than that, be sure you're subscribed to all these amazing people. Machiny 90 specifically, Jayne Theory specifically, Tommy, my man of the toys. Hopefully he gets back to making those videos soon. Obviously, Scotty, our host, he's amazing. And do check out my friend, Mad Mardigan, who, despite all of his best efforts, has not chased me off of the shows we do together. Although I do get a pretty decent paycheck as producer. So, I mean... It's not usually about the money for me, but Mad does pay me pretty well.
Thank you, buddy. And Scott Jennings of Dick's Division, thank you for coming over. I'm trying to make more of those. Oh, yeah, that's another thing, Culture. I was on another Dick's Division, or it was on another show on Monday. I'm doing like the first hour now on Monday nights.
Good for you, because I cannot wait. This Monday's going to be huge.
I won't be there.
It's going to be bigly.
I won't be there. I'll be on vacation. I'm taking it's Father's Day weekend, so on Sunday, we're going Sunday to Wednesday up to the tip of the Cape, which is pretty much Provincetown area. So it's Provincetown, North.
Is that like the lapel?
Provincetown Provincetown's like the San Francisco of the East. It's like, I'm going at the perfect time. Father's Day.
So like there's shit on the side?
Month.
Yeah.
No, it's a lot cleaner. It's actually people that respect one another, but they like to wear chaps and shit like that.
So that's not it then?
No.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Is it like is it like Malibu? Is it like the Malibu of?
It's very flamboyant.
Are you going to be wearing your Wonder Woman underoos, Scott?
Of course.
Hey, did you upload the new credits video I sent you?
I did.
Good.
I definitely did. I swear I did.
We turned it down.
You know how awesome Jayne Theory is, by the way?
She's awesome.
That's what
Yes, he seems okay.
All right. Well, he always plays hard to get. All right. I'd like to say thank you to my Oberyn Martell level, my Oberyn Martell level members, which is Valliant Renegade, who's an amazing channel, Larry, Lady Tauriel, and the Great Culture Casino. And my highest level, which is the Little Finger level, I have Tina Bojan, Toxic Manflu of Dick's Division, Jake, I like to call him Jack D, Who Knew the Salt Must Flow, and I think that's it. I really appreciate. Don't think that's it. Like, that's amazing. Thank you so much to everyone that has become members. Riff Mangos has become a member just this past week. So thank you to Culture.
And thank you all for having members, those of you with members.
Unbelievable. Thank you. Yes. Everybody, members are important. No matter how big they are.
Or whether or not they're clipped.
Snip.
Snip. Spork in it. I'm done. I hate you people. Good night. Thought you were going to change the color.
Are you sure you turned it down? By the way, I didn't even get to tell. I had this whole thing about NBA 2K16.
Oh my God! Shut up, man!
Jesus, fire boy.
It was a good thing.
Good night, everybody. Have a great night.